What are we going to talk about today? I uh, I started to come out here half an hour ago because I didn't know who was waiting or whatever. To get you on my phone here because I can't see the comments. Anyway, just like last week, I started to come out here about a half an hour ago, and apparently next door they've got a new schedule on mowing because they started up right at noon. And that's why I always say I'll be doing this on Wednesdays when I'm around noonish. I don't want to be obligated to noon. So I come out and got everything set up. And I don't know how it actually works. I don't know if you guys got a thumbnail or some kind of an email saying that I'm getting ready to go on or something. But if so, good, because that kind of gives you a little bit of an alert factor. But anyway, they just got done over here making a bunch of noise. And so, anyway, that's what's going on. And I'm working on this month's WNL show, which comes up a week from today. It's coming around faster than you think. I got a special guest. I might reveal who the guest is today. I'm really hesitant about doing it because I really like for my guest to be kind of a surprise when you see the thumbnail for the first time. Then you go, hey, he's going to have this guy or that guy. And as I was working on all that to get the thumbnail made and a couple of emails back and forth to our guest about things, then I got a phone call on another guest that I've been working on for next month. Actually, it was recommended by Craig Morrison, the Medicare expert. I was talking to him one day, and I said I like to be able to get these people on to get the facts, not just somebody that heard from somebody that heard from somebody. You know what I mean? Or newspaper articles, which around here they're really slanted sometimes. If you read the Daily Sun, especially with the political stuff here, it is slanted so far that you don't know if it's true or not true. I don't trust half of everything I read in the Daily Sun, but sometimes I do read something in there, and then I'll let you know this comes from the happy paper, and I'll read it because that's maybe the only information I got. I don't trust almost nothing I read off the internet unless I can back it up somehow. So sometimes it's just hard getting the right information, the right facts. And then even when you get the facts, there's always a certain amount of people out there that want to debunk them and say, oh, that's not true. Well, if it's coming from the expert, I assume it's true. Or why would this person tell you that? You know what I mean? So anyway, I've been working on, this is July's guest, the last week in July. And we're going to debunk a few things that I've heard around here. I'm not saying it's going to be good for everybody. I'm not saying it's going to be bad for everybody because you guys don't know who the guest is. But it'll at least be some answers we can get from this one particular company that's going to tell us exactly what's going on about these rumors that you hear and how they are perceiving it and how they are handling it. That's all I'm going to say about that. There's that lizard again. You know, every time it seems like I come out here and do porch setting, this big overfed monster of a gecko keeps coming out here. I don't know. Maybe I bet you he's guarding a nest. He's got a female somewhere, and they got a nest. And every time I come out here, they might have a nest in one of these flower pots here. You never know. Anyway, let me see. Let me find me on my phone here. I know I'm rambling again, right? Where are we at? Where are we at? Let me see. Come on, come on, come on. Sometimes this phone of mine is so slow, and it's a fairly new phone. It's only about a year old. And I don't know why it's so slow. There we go. I think. No, wait a minute. Well, Okay, but this is the wrong page. I don't want this page. Let me back it up and go to another account. I need to switch accounts. Here we go. I think I'm coming in. Nope, that didn't work. I'll get there sooner or later. Here we go. I think I'm getting, I got it. Jiminy. Sometimes getting on here, I swear. I don't know who that was, but I got a feeling they're coming back. Yeah.
You're recording, Skip?
Yeah.
You don't remember me at all.
You look familiar.
We bumped into each other at
Sunny's barbecue.
I'm from the UK, and I looked out for you because I got a gift for you in my golf cart from a golf course that I played in the UK.
Yeah, I've got it hanging in the studio. Yeah, I do. I thought you looked familiar. I've run into you, I think, right in front of Sonny's up at Lake Sumter.
Yeah, you were with Fat Bob, is it?
Fat Bob, yeah. Yeah, he's still around. He's had a couple of surgeries since you saw him last, but he's still alive and kicking.
Yeah.
He's in Indiana right now.
Right.
Pre-pandemic, isn't it? When we were.
Yeah. We're still coming twice, well, trying to come twice a year, looking at property. We're renting a house literally in Key Street.
Where?
In Key Street, round the corner.
Oh, that's here.
Just literally there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the second time we've rented this house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I may know the person that you rented it from.
Ed Burhart.
Mm. The thing is I remember names like this long, but I probably know them because I think they've got a couple of houses around.
One down, is it Dunedin?
Yeah.
Fernandina.
Yes, could be.
Yeah, I know who it is, but I don't remember their names.
Yeah.
Super nice people.
He works for Snap-on.
Huh?
He works for Snap-on. Snap-on Tools.
Yeah, could be. Yeah. So are you back for?
Well, we're here till the weekend now. We've been here for 3 weeks.
Oh, have you?
We keep coming back, seeing how the new bit's developing, seeing what that's getting on.
What village did you go to? You know?
We went to all of them, all down there.
Well, there's a bunch.
Probably the nicest one at the moment is probably St. Catherine, but we're still not convinced.
Still prefer this area.
Yeah, it's going to take. I think it's going to take quite a few years, probably 5 years for it to settle down with all the building and.
Well, you know, every area has their own vibe,
Yes.
and down there you would probably fit in better because you're younger,
Yeah.
and the average age down there is younger. Not that you wouldn't fit in here. Don't get me wrong. You'd be fine here too, but the average age where I'm at right here is probably about 65 to 70.
Yeah.
And down there, I'd say it's probably closer to 55 to 60.
Yeah, I'm playing golf with some guys, part of a Facebook group, born in the 1970s.
Yeah.
And most of them, they still work, but they live in the new parks. So, but there's certain parks down there. We don't like the pylons down there, and obviously the turnpike as well, being so close as well.
Are you looking, well, probably it's a dumb question, but are you looking full-time or part-time?
But we can only do part-time.
Only?
Yeah, we're only allowed to come for 6 months a year. That's all the visa would allow us to do.
Well, I don't understand how that works because I've got a niece that went to Manchester, England years ago. And she only went over there on some kind of a visa, like 6 months or something like that. But she liked it so well, she said, I think I'm just going to stay here. 2 years later, she marries a guy. And after she marries the guy, there was something involved in there where she had to be a citizen first for benefits and things, I guess, because she's going to stay there. So she had to go through all that and I'm thinking to myself, They probably should have put you in jail because they found out at that point you were illegal, right? But they didn't. So
Every time I speak to someone, because we're supposed to have this special relationship, but it doesn't really extend that far. And everybody always says, "Well, just go to Mexico and then just walk it, and then you'll be okay."
So yeah, right. You see what we're over here. He's from Canada, and they had a thing for a long time. I think 6 months was all you could stay at one time.
Yeah,
That's been changed.
right,
I don't know exactly what, but he told me it's changed. I think now they can stay up to a year,
right.
and then they have to go back for like a week. Then they can come back for a year,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, we can only stay 6 months out of every 12 months.
Here's how I feel about it. If we all go to war, if you're on our side, you can come and stay as long as you want. That's how I see it.
It's just annoying. We can afford to be here full time. We can afford our healthcare. We can afford everything.
Well, it's something ain't got nothing to do with money. It's got to do with our politicians always getting their nose stuck in something they don't know anything about.
If I invest in an enterprise company, in other words, a dog company, for about $1 million, then I can come in.
Hmm. So, do, do you come back every year?
Twice a year.
Twice a year we come.
Yeah.
We don't normally come in June. June's a bit later. Spring, May.
It takes this lady all day to mow a yard. I thought she left a while ago.
What happened to brushes?
You know, most people that come here, it's like a crew of guys. They got like a whole bunch of yards. They'll have one guy that runs around the yard with the edger. I know, I can't hear either. But every Wednesday I come out here, I start my porch setting on each noon. I go like, oh, I except for, I don't know what they say. I got the camera pointed this way anyway. So anyway, and I go to start it. This happened last Wednesday. And about the same time I get ready to start, she starts this lawnmower up. That needs a muffler. And I had more complaints saying, you have to start this after they get done. She said, this is way too noisy, blah, blah, blah. So I come out here today, she's starting it up again. So I thought, well, I'll just wait. About 15 minutes ago or whatever, it got quiet and they left. I thought, okay, she's done. So I started. And I heard she comes around and
It's like the house next to us. They're doing them all themselves.
I don't
I'm
get
like,
it.
why?
It's like $40 a month or something.
I pay
$50 a month.
45 for my yard. It goes by actually, it just goes by whatever they want to tell you.
Yeah.
They come out here and they say, how much you want for my yard to mow this thing, I'll edge it. You know, because the deed restriction says they got to do three things. They got to keep the edge clean, and then they mow, and then they blow.
Yep.
My guy got some of that. That's my wife's doing. I told her not to put that in there. But there you go. Now I got to clean that up again. But yeah, that's the main thing. No matter where you go, you get the three things: mow, edge, and blow. But if you get a good company, a good crew, like my guy, when he does all this and everything by himself, in 10 minutes he's done.
Yep.
He does my yard, that yard, he does this stuff. 10 minutes he's done.
Yeah.
Earning some money then, which is what they
He
want
just
to
knows
do.
what he's doing.
Well, as long as he does, it doesn't really matter, does it? How long he takes. Whether it takes an
Any,
hour, whether it takes
okay, at any other time of the day or month, whatever, if it took her 10 hours to mow that, nobody would really care.
No.
But she just said, every Wednesday I do my porch sit down. So what kind of timing is that?
That's crazy, isn't it? But more
So
overcast
you
today.
guys having a good time while you're here?
Yeah, we came for 3 weeks and we actually flew. We got 3 older children and we flew them out for the middle week, and they hadn't been out for a few years because of the pandemic and whatnot.
It was about
So we
6
were back and
years for
up and down the toll road to the parks for a few
yeah, we
days.
did Universal and SeaWorld. I mean, our kids are 22, 25, 27. They haven't been for years, so
And you're staying
Key Street.
Key Street. So what do you think of this area here?
We
love this.
like this. We've rented that house 3 times now
Yeah.
because we like this area. It's nice and central to get to almost most things. Problem is, and we drove down there on Tuesday. Everything's so far away from down there, and like they're not putting the squares in these entertainment sections with a few restaurants, and it's going to be a very captive audience, which means everything's going to be busy or expensive. And there's just nothing's done as well. If you look at the paths, they're not edged. There's all those little things, and you kind of look at that and you're paying a big bond down there, and they'll eat that up in 10 years because they've been doing so much remedial work.
Yeah, they've cut costs back there. I've done some video and pointed it out, trying to let the people down there know that right now it's all under the developer's control. And if he says do something, it gets done. But once he turns that community over to each one of them districts down there, at that point, the residents are going to be responsible for all the maintenance. And the golf cart passing, to me, is a big one.
Yeah.
That's millions of dollars to fix this thing right. And it'll happen within 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
You've seen how the edges will fall apart already. You come up here and look around, you don't see that.
We've noticed on a couple of things, especially where there's water, unless you really slow down, when you go around the corner, there's going to be something tipping over or going into the water.
Yeah,
It's really quite dangerous.
especially in the dark.
And there's no lights.
We was here in December. We were down a few times. It was dark coming back.
Well, it's dark at 5
And
o'clock, isn't it?
if you don't know the roads, because they've got no indicators on the roads or anything. Some of those lakes, those little ponds, they're not really lakes. I'm amazed no one's been in one yet.
Think about that. I'm not there, I'm not sure. I think it's Chitty Chat. The first bridge is put in. Goes to the right, goes to the left, goes straight for a while, and then you get down that roadway. It seems to me rubber tees off.
Yeah.
I'm thinking there was something on the other side of
Yeah.
that. I'm not sure what it was. When it first opened that, no lights or anything like you're talking about. I think somebody did go in there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was a pond or just a bunch of brush or whatever it was. But, oh yeah, these golf cart accidents happen here all the time. They're in the roundabouts because they got lost, they got drunk.
Yeah.
They're on the road or in the roundabouts.
Yeah, we've seen them coming across.
It was actually December. I went down to the driving range, the lake one, Sarasota, and there was a car coming down the golf cart path at the back of Sarasota. So I was going along. It's like coming straight at you.
Believe it or not, that's a pretty common occurrence. Because some of the golf cart trails, especially when you go up north, up there in the older areas, they've learned where they made mistakes up there.
Yeah.
And so they've kind of corrected a lot of them here. Not all of them.
Yeah.
But then again, you just can't make an excuse for a silly driver. I mean, there's this white pole right there.
Yeah.
And they run over it to get on. Like their mind didn't even, well, what's this pole doing?
Yeah, the amount of gate poles we've seen go down this week, especially here. This one here, down like both sides 3 times now.
I know, every time I go up there and I see a pole down, I tell my wife, oh, there you go. That's all they do. There's a crew here. They asked me if I wanted to work for them for a while, and I told them, I said, heck no, you guys work too hard. You're running around all the time to put these poles up. One guy said, we put the same pole up 3 times in one day, because they keep running into them. But these people are losing money because since they put the cameras in, if you hit a pole, $250.
Yeah,
And if you're a resident here, you will pay it. Now, what they do with somebody that's a visitor to hit the pole, I'm not sure how they can enforce that.
Chase, especially if it's a rental car.
Yeah, how do you do that? I don't know. So,
it's just mad. The prices have gone crazy.
the price of homes?
Yeah.
Since COVID, they've kind of went nuts. I don't understand why either, if they have.
We were looking at stuff that was like 300,000.
Yeah.
It's now 500,000.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just. And for us, with the exchange rates really poor as well.
Yeah, we're at the
Just like,
Are we
lowest.
ahead or you ahead?
You're ahead, well ahead. Yeah, if you want to visit the UK, it's now the time to do it.
Yeah.
Because your quid's in at the moment. But,
We've been coming here for
I've
27
been
years.
in Canada too. You said that the price of stuff in Canada is higher than it is here. I can hardly imagine that myself. We're paying $5 a gallon on average for gas. And people I know that usually travel this time of year are not traveling for 1 or 2 reasons.
news this morning. They were saying in California it's $6.50 in California.
California's, yeah, they're always a little higher.
But yeah,
At the moment, is it
two.
£2 a litre,
No, it's more than that. It's about $2.40
which
a litre.
equates to about $2.60 a litre.
Yeah, that's
then
with
how
the
many-
poor exchange rate. So
At the
it would
moment, our
normally be
exchange
about
rate is a
15.
pound, $1.20 to a pound. We've been coming 27 years, and we average
seen
about $1.50 to the pound. We have been here when it's been over $2, and we came on Easter, and
Yeah.
like, everything was so cheap.
So your gas over there right now is $12 a
The
gallon,
equivalent
and
of
people ain't
$12.
raising hell.
Is our
There's a lot more
our
electric cars coming out. In fact, next week I've got a new electric car being delivered, which is then the equivalent of about 60p a gallon.
That's what they're pushing here too.
Yeah. we're just
But there's
about
nowhere to charge them here. I haven't seen a
but
charging
they're
point yet.
They're charging everywhere.
Yeah. But
They're
it's,
hidden. You have to know where they're at.
Oh, right,
I
there
guess Melanie, which was my co-host, she passed
Yeah,
away now.
yeah.
Yeah, we
saw
saw
that.
that. She was in Vegas.
She had
wasn't
two
she?
electric cars, Tesla. She was, and I asked her that question. I took them out for Christmas dinner, and I said, "When you're running around the United States in this thing," well, she did. She went to Vegas 2 and 3 times a year in this. I said, "How do you know where to go get charged?"
Oh, the car tells you.
She said the car tells you. That's real. So she showed me how that worked. That's when I seen, even in the villages here, almost every hotel around there behind, in the back, there's these Tesla charging stations.
But they're out in the open at home, in all these
room is
supermarkets.
another one. Any of the emergency rooms, what do you call them, standalone emergency
Oh, yeah.
care,
Yeah.
they all have charging stations now.
I haven't seen it.
So you don't have to go to the emergency room.
Well, in the supermarkets, it's free in the
Yeah,
UK.
at home,
So
in
you just
all
go
the
to the supermarket, plug it in, go
supermarkets.
do your shopping. So
See,
you
now
come
that's
out.
the thing, is I don't know if I don't know what it costs. Surely they're not giving us electricity.
At the moment, they are.
They are?
Yeah, in the supermarkets they are, to encourage you to go to the supermarket there. Because most of the cars, for 20 minutes to half an hour charge, you get 80% charge of your batteries.
Right.
So you don't have to be in the supermarket long, and you've got a full tank again. So so they're pushing it to get people to go, but it's costing them negligible amount of money. Electricity is quite inexpensive at the moment. So, and we have a lot more green energy, so we've got more windmills and sort of solar now.
We're just about to drop.
Yeah, Texas is, California's another one. There's
But
a lot of western states
cars
just full of wind.
Yeah, but the cars are so expensive to start with. That's the problem. You know.
I think Melanie told me her last Tesla, she got the SUV type.
Oh yes, yeah.
I said, man, I said, I could do something like this. As long as one of these costs. She said, $100. I said, what?
Yeah.
I said, oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
equivalent to
I've got an Audi Quattro e-tron, and it's a company car. My company's paying for it. I'm not paying for it. And I'm only having it like
Can I
a
get
car.
one for free?
Yeah, because and then
Ship it over here and
because
come
we
on,
pay
test
so
it out
much
more.
tax.
and I
on
don't
it.
pay tax on it then either, which is even better because normally I have to pay a load of tax.
Is that a government thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
We earn more money and get a free car.
yeah, but
No tax.
Life's
good, right?
Yeah.
the equipment here, I looked, they're like 130 grand.
Yeah, the electric cars are high. Kia's coming out with one. I've seen the car. A friend of mine test driving it to California. Great car, half the price of the Tesla or whatever. We had it on the net. The batteries are different than the big high-dollar lithium or something else.
Yeah.
That's all. And it does not come with a charging port. If you don't plug it in your house for 110, plug it right in your house, you have to go to a charging station. Or if you want the kit to be able to plug it into the house, that's another $1,200 that's going to be on the car. And he said, they really keep all this stuff. That's like a power.
There's always something, but they are ridiculously expensive. That's what people like.
And that's what they're doing here. I really firmly believe that this high gas price right there is kind of being controlled by the government. They want this high price, they're going to push them.
Well, he was on about giving some tax reduction, wasn't he? But he was only talking like 20 cents or something like that.
Yeah.
Reduction.
But
Doesn't make any difference.
it gets him reelected.
I don't think he can.
Let me tell you what, our government conclusion that half of America is stupid.
Oh yeah.
Steve Bolton. You know that when Bill Clinton was elected, and I got out and Bill back said about that. He doesn't think they're okay. I think he was a little goofy. I didn't trust his luck. that's why I wouldn't vote for her because she had this book about her I didn't like. That's the American way. Well, they did a study in like 10,000 different colleges in America, and there were so many women, so many men in these groups, like 100,000 people. All these people voted for this thing. Maybe you think they have to vote, and then what do you? The number one women reason for voting for Joseph, we have a council. They posted that in the internet paper, and I get that place and say, look at this! Look at this! This is how stupid you women are!
It's true. But I know Sanchez is here now, isn't he? Next. Sanchez, they reckon, next president.
Who?
Sanchez, the governor of Florida.
Well, I don't really like him, but we really like him as our governor here.
Yeah.
He's pretty good. But yeah, I can see what he's doing. He's making Trump a lot like that. And Trump is good, not too far down the road. And so, yeah, I like that. And I think if DeSantis was to run, I'd be interested in that. Is he running against Biden? I could agree with that. There's so many good ideas. That's the thing about it. They got close down here.
They said 0 chance of rain tonight.
Is everybody still on here? Yeah, I got 57 people on here waiting.
We'll let you get up. We'll let you get up.
No, sit down. Sit down. For at least for a quick. I don't want these people to think I was nuts.
No.
They might think I was out in the street talking to myself. Can I get both of you on here? I don't know if I can or not. I don't know if you guys can see or not real well. These two people are from somewhere in England, right? Or
Northamptonshire.
UK. Is UK England?
No, UK's the whole thing.
But you're from England.
Just the nice bit.
But you're from England.
Yes.
What part of England?
Northamptonshire.
North Hampshire. I don't know where any of that is.
Right in the middle.
In the middle.
Right in the middle.
But I met you guys
Three
3 years ago, 4 years ago,
Yeah.
and you were here for a visit then,
Yes.
and now you came back and you were just running around in the golf cart and saw me sitting out here and thought, well, look at that crazy old man talking to himself.
That's right.
So this is your second visit?
No, we've been coming for 6 years. And we come twice a year. Bar the pandemic.
Want a beer?
No, I'm good. And
No, I'm good, thanks.
and
I don't know who that is.
yeah, we normally try and rent in different villages.
Right,
Just because we want to buy here eventually.
right.
So we try different areas to see whether we like them, etc. Go down to the new bit, see how that's developing. But no, at the moment it's with just round the corner in Key Street. So
That's cool. So you're staying now here in my area,
yes,
and I know you stayed up in Lake Sumter area.
yeah, we stayed in Lake Sumter. We stayed in
Liberty Park.
Liberty Park before
The one that's near Kane
Garden
Garden.
as well,
Can't
around
remember
that
that.
area
Right.
We've
before as
stopped in
well.
Osceola Hills.
And of all the different squares that you've seen, you've probably seen them all by now.
Yeah.
We think actually although we're close to Brownwood here and we like this area a lot, we actually think the nicest town square is Spanish Springs.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm shocked because almost everybody says Lake Sumter.
Lake Sumter's pretty.
It's pretty, but we think there's more at Spanish Springs, and we spend a lot of time at all of them.
Well,
I
that's
think
interesting.
I think
Yeah, I
Lake
like
Sumter
the
just gets too
water.
busy.
Yeah, it is busy, and that's where they have all the political parties and things
Yeah.
down there. So if you're not into politics, you really want to avoid Lake
Yeah.
Sumter. But it's interesting you like Spanish Springs so well. So the next question that I've got is, have you been keeping up with the news about Spanish Springs?
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't live in that area. We wouldn't buy in that area with the things that are going on, and I know
I see.
with the conversions of the apartments going into Katie Bell's and such like. But we just like the feel of that town centre. We were supposed to go up there this weekend or last weekend
Yeah,
for the
you-
car
you
show.
like
but
it up there for the car
unfortunately, the
show.
weather spoilt it. But it's not so busy. Every time we go to Lake Sumter, it's crazy.
Yeah,
It's like the capital of the villages.
It is.
Almost.
it is.
Um,
Used to be, you know where Starbucks is?
yes.
That little breezeway right there.
Yeah.
To the right, if you go to the breezeway, like you're walking back to the parking lot behind Starbucks, to the right is a double set of doors, and there's a stairway right inside there. Upstairs used to be, years ago, corporate offices.
Right.
They've moved all that now, but
Yeah.
that was the, because at one time, that was the build out.
Right.
They weren't going to go any further.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you've seen what's happened to this day. So now you've been down to the new area down there
Yes.
looking around.
Yeah, we've been all over that and seen that develop from when it was just Fenny, before the bridges, and
Pre-pandemic,
then
it was just
post
Fenny.
bridges and all the new building. And we noticed that when we came in 3 weeks ago, that the land that's being prepared now goes 3 miles before the services on the turnpike.
Mm-hmm.
That's how far it's come. Whereas when we were here in December, it was just about at
Right.
the services.
They build fast.
So yeah, they're really clearing.
So you know about the new town square down there then, where it's going to be, kind of, where it's going to be?
Yeah, and where they're building the new hospitals and schools
Yeah,
and
yeah.
such like right at the bottom end. But we've looked around most of it, and obviously they're still developing it, so
Uh-huh.
you can't say this bit's going to be better than that bit. But there's certain parts we know we don't like.
What parts of that?
The bits where the biggest view is a pylon. We call them pylons. The electrical
Oh,
cables.
yeah. Well, nobody likes living under one of those.
So we spoil the view quite a bit.
And some are very close to the turnpike.
Very
Right.
close. I mean, literally, we noticed on one part they're 30 feet from
Oh, really?
from the actual edge of the turnpike. So, and I know I watched a video of someone a few weeks back. We were on about the noise, and if the wind's in the wrong direction, you can be quarter of a mile from that and still hear it.
Yeah, we always told people that if you're considering buying a home, because sometimes I give you a little discount being closer to the
Yeah.
turnpike, that if you are seriously about buying one of them, we always say go down there early in the morning in your car and just sit and listen, or go down there at 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon and just sit and listen. That's the early morning rush,
Yep.
going to work, because everybody here goes to Orlando to work,
Yeah.
and people in Orlando come here to work. My doctor, last 2 doctors, all of them came from Orlando.
Right.
This doctor I've got now, by the way, is the 3rd one I've had in 8 years. I'm so sick of it. She's from Orlando.
Right.
Yeah, it's almost like nobody wants to live here.
It's crazy because a lot of the people that I've met playing golf, some of them still work and live in the new part actually, and
Uh-huh.
they some of those live work either from home or in Orlando as well. But
Let me ask you this, coming from England, are you having such a labor problem over there like we're having here?
Yes.
Are you really?
yeah, you can't get lorry drivers, so you can't get things delivered. What happened was.
Speaking of that, I just got an Amazon delivery a while ago. I defy you to open that box.
Get into
I know what it is. It's just a thing that goes on my desk in there for the mouse, the big thing, you know.
Sure.
And I thought, well, I'm going to see what it is, because it comes. I was expecting it to be in a box this long, and it's not. And I'm wondering how did they fold this thing up, and I couldn't get it open. Women are better about opening boxes. They know how to do it. I mean, they've had so many of
I'll
them.
open it if you want me to.
Yeah, seriously.
It's
See,
probably
you get
got a-
that
it's
thing.
probably got a
You can
thing
see
on it
where
you
I
pull.
tore it on the top. I couldn't even get it open.
We'll have a tag on it
Yeah,
from that end.
yeah. I tried that. Oh crap! You're supposed to pull it.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I knew she would know how to do it. I'm the guy that don't know how to do it. What's in there?
A little box.
Yeah,
Oh,
big box
well,
for a little
it's
box.
supposed to be. I'm not sure if this.
Sustainability.
See, and then they got this tape on here that you can't get off either without a pocket knife, which is a deadly weapon in America, and you're not allowed to carry them anymore.
You know?
Yeah, there's a blade size now.
Yeah, you can't carry anything under or over. I think it's about 2 inches.
Yeah.
This is nuts to me as a farm boy.
Yeah.
Every boy in school carried a pocket knife.
Well, the thing is, in the UK, we don't carry guns, so people carry knives. Is the biggest violent crime, not guns.
There's nobody. Are you
Nobody has
allowed to have guns?
Nope.
Nope.
You can have if you're in a farm area and you can go have a shotgun to go shooting just for the day, but it has to be then kept in a safe at home.
So do they hunt?
No, not in the way you hunt. Just pheasants and
I mean,
grouse.
like deer hunting or turkey hunting or bird hunting of some kind. They don't do any of that. Rabbit hunting for food or.
Not really, no.
Hmm.
No, a bit of grouse, some pheasants, and that's about it. Maybe some clay pigeon stuff. Nothing more than that.
I used to shoot professionally, clay pigeons and stuff.
Right.
I loved it.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the hobbies that we've picked up since we've been here.
Yeah.
We've been going to Shooters World, had some shooting lessons, and because we can't experience that at home. So
They don't have like a shooter's world at all.
no.
No.
You're not allowed to.
So you're not allowed to even own a gun. They can't sell guns. They don't even have like shooting galleries to go shoot guns.
Nope.
Hmm.
Nope. It's
What good are you if we have a war?
well, no one would ever invade the US because there's a gun in every house virtually. In the UK,
This is why we like them.
yeah, in the UK we have housewives, so no one will invade.
But the police
but-
carry guns, and in the airports at home there's
yeah,
guns.
there's guns about, but
as
only
a-
the police carry
As a
them.
private citizen, you can't.
Any gun, handgun, will be an illegal gun. In
I
the
had,
UK.
I had never touched a gun in my life until we came in December.
Did you shoot?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What'd you
Yeah.
think?
we've been several times now.
Loved it.
I don't know what did you shoot? You know?
A 22 and a 9mm.
Okay. Did it have much of a kick?
The 9mm was a bit heavy for me,
Uh-huh.
but the 22, and I got a bullseye with my very first bullet.
Did you like it?
I loved it. And
See, you should
I'm
move to
good at
America.
it.
You can have 3 or 4 of them in the
I
kitchen.
know.
Yeah.
I'm actually good at it. Yeah.
We've been
And we've had a lesson.
3-4 times
Yeah.
now, and we're going tomorrow, in fact.
Yeah.
Again, to just hire a lane and,
Yeah.
and rent out a gun. It's so
Because
easy
it-
here.
because it's
so
something you
clean
can't do
and
at
nice.
You know, with all the political uproar and in America, I don't know how you guys are over there, but if you keep up with things here, you've seen how they riot for no good reason, like the January 6th riot after Trump was voted out, all that stuff. It's like, you know, I've never really kept a gun in my house. I've always kept them in lockers somewhere because my wife wouldn't allow me to have guns in the house because we had children.
Yeah.
But now we don't have children. I still don't have guns in the house. Well, here I don't really feel the need, but I do travel, and I've actually thought about going to Shooters World and getting an open carry,
Yeah.
where I can travel with it
Yeah, no, it's,
in different states.
it's very. One of the things we found, it's very easy to do. Certainly to get an open carry. I mean, the qualification for that is very minimal, really.
Well, you could even be crazy around here and get an open carry permit. I mean, that's a proven fact. Look at all these dumbasses that went in churches and shooting people for no good reason.
Yeah.
They're all nuts,
Yeah.
but they got it.
Yeah. No, it's. But you should go down there. It's great, and shout out to Patrick down there, the instructor.
He's an
Absolutely excellent.
excellent instructor.
Very, very good, patient, knowledgeable guy.
Yeah.
And he's absolutely superb.
But you took our boys last week
Yeah,
to have a lesson.
our elder children were over, and they went as well and had a 2-hour lesson down there with
Mhm.
him as well, and it was, they loved it as well. But
Yeah.
it's something we can only do here. So
Yeah, I haven't went down there and seen anything yet. I was there when they was building the building, but a couple of my friends down here, they went ahead and got their open carry permits, and they were telling me about the process and went downstairs and you do all this stuff. You got to go through classes and whatever.
yeah, I think it's a 4-hour class,
Is
but
it?
most of it's about the legalities. If you get stopped,
Uh-huh.
and in what states you can carry and what states you can't carry,
and what you have to say and not say,
Pretty much,
and
yeah.
and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The actual qualification of shooting the thing
Mhm.
is, I think it's 7 feet, something like that.
Was it 15 yards?
It wasn't very far,
No.
and you got to get it within the 9, so you got quite a distance to
Mhm.
do that. I mean, if you can't hit that from the distance
My
they
cousin
require, it's
lives in
crazy.
Texas. He moved down there, gosh, when he retired from the Air Force, maybe I want to say 10 years ago. And they passed a law in Texas, I forget what year it was, where no permits are needed anymore. Anybody that wants to open carry is welcome to do so.
Yeah.
And so the thing that's weird about Texas, for my wife, it wasn't for me, I was kind of used to it, is you get out of your car sometimes to get gas for your car. And you see the guy next to you, and he's packing right there.
Yeah.
You can see it. Or you go in a grocery store, and you're walking around, and there's nothing to see. Women walking around, and they have these cute little things strapped to their
Yeah.
thigh right there, and I mean they're carrying.
Yeah, they can open carry
Yeah.
in Texas, whereas the concealed carry, it has to be concealed
Yeah.
in Florida. But
And I do know that there are states have certain laws. Indiana's one that if you do have a gun in the car, you have to tell the officer right away.
Yeah.
You know, for whatever reason. I'm not sure. If he just pulls you over for speeding, I'm not sure why you have to tell him that. But I think there's a law says you have to tell him, or he's going to ask you, and then you have to tell him or something.
Right.
And I don't think it can be loaded if it's in the car. I think the gun in Indiana's got to be, say, in the glove box,
Yeah.
but the ammunition's got to be in the back seat,
Yes.
which don't make sense to me at all. But I think that's the way it is.
It's the strange thing here that the laws are so different state to state for lots of things, not
Right.
just guns, but all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And I come over here to work sometimes for the company I work with, and you know, just simple things of using your credit card. So like my company will book a hotel. I have to use my own credit card because I have to use the credit card it was booked under.
Under your
In
name.
certain states, it has to be in my
Oh,
name.
yeah.
In other states, it doesn't really matter. They can just book it from Europe and it'll be done, sort of thing.
I've never had that
Some
problem,
you can pay
but
cash.
yeah, I can
So
see what you're saying. Actually, that kind of makes sense to me. There's so much credit card fraud. They steal your ID. Matter of fact, the first year I moved here, my credit card was compromised twice.
Yeah.
In Indiana, I had this card for 23 years, never compromised, not even one
Yeah.
time. So I don't know what happened here.
Yeah, I had it.
We've had it once.
We've had it
years
once
ago,
here.
haven't we? Where
Yeah,
a
probably
card was
10
cloned
years ago, and we had a card cloned, and they can always tell because they tend to use it in something like a vending machine first
to try it.
to try it to see if it works, and then they'll go and use for bigger purchases. But we have it, but they're fully insured, so you know.
Well, I still had my card,
Yeah, no, I did as well.
but somehow,
They cloned it. We worked out where it was done because it was the only one store I'd ever used it in, and we bought some clothes for the kids in an Abercrombie or something like that.
well, I have to use mine to finance gas.
Yeah. Not surprised. You wanna
By
get
the
to
way,
UK.
if people in in the United States thinks a $5 a gallon gas is outrageous, tell them how much your gas is in the UK.
It's about $12
A
a
gallon.
gallon.
$12 a gallon.
Isn't our gallon very slightly bigger than the
No,
US
no, theirs
gallon?
is slightly bigger than ours.
Oh right, okay. I knew
So-
it was one way or the other.
But
And nobody over there's raising hell.
no, and the inflation's now 9.1%, so everything's gone up massively. The rails are on strike at the moment, so you can't even get a train anywhere at the moment in the UK this week because the
You guys sound like you're in a
train
bigger
operators-
mess than what we are.
Oh,
But the
it's
difference
crazy.
is, food prices here in supermarkets are a lot more expensive than in the UK. Like a loaf of bread here is $4. We would pay,
Is it really?
yeah.
Just regular bread. Not nothing. Hey! Thanks! I don't know who that is. But thanks for watching.
A loaf of what was it? It's like seeded.
batch thing.
It was $3.99 in Publix. Similar loaf of bread at home would be $1.50 equivalent.
See, I don't go to the grocery store. If you've seen my videos, here I highly recommend when you get back or you're here, you're bored, go to my YouTube channel.
Oh, we've watched you for years.
I know, but I don't know if you see them all. Did you see the one where Sue broke her leg?
Yes.
Okay, and I had to do everything
Yeah.
like I always have
And
to
you went to
do.
the grocery store with,
I-
with your
did you see
mask
that?
on, yeah.
I was lost. I was totally lost. And then I got to the cheese department because you had on a list and it brings cheese. I looked at cheese and it was like 7 slices in this bag. and you see them. I mean, it was 7 slices, and the price was like, I forget now, it was like $9. And I'm standing there talking to myself because I got the phone going, but people in the store don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
They just see this crazy old guy standing over there talking to the cheese, you know. And the guy comes over, he says, can I help you with anything? Because I go at night. I don't go in the daytime. I'm a nighttime person. So at nighttime, it's really good. Nobody's in there, and I can get what I want and get out. And I said, yeah, I got to get some cheese. My wife wants to get some cheese. I said, but my wife would not pay $9 for 7 slices of cheese. I know that. So he goes, oh, you want the cheap cheese? And he said, that's over there in the milk department. You have to go over there. It's next to that. So, well, why have they got cheese over here and then they also have cheese way over there? This does not make sense. Why wouldn't they just put all the cheese in one department where this is the cheese?
Yeah.
And the guy's laughing. He goes, I don't know, man. I just work here.
But it's, yes, food in the shops here is a lot more expensive.
Is it?
We can
How
understand.
about our restaurant food compared
It's
to?
gone up,
It's gone up,
for sure.
but we can understand why a lot of people eat out rather than cook at home, because
The costs are so
if
different.
if I did the shopping here, it would probably be 3 times the price of what I pay for food at home.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very expensive.
Are you?
And that's going in. We only know by going in Publix or
Walmart.
Walmart. I noticed you've now got Aldi here, which is very
Yeah.
popular at home.
Okay.
Is a discounter at home.
Do you have to pack your own bags?
Yes.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm working for the store for nothing.
I like to
Yeah.
pack
The
my own
self-serve
bags.
checkouts as well.
I don't do
had
those either.
We've had those for quite some time. We now have Scanner Shop as well. I don't know whether you have that here, where you pick up a scanner and you scan everything yourself, and then you just
put it
scan
in
the
your
till
bags.
when you get there, and it's done.
Are they paying you to do that?
No.
If a store employee done that, would he get paid to do that?
Yeah.
But they
I ain't
also,
doing
they
that.
also do that. You can order your shopping online, and somebody will go around with a cart, do your shopping for you, and have it delivered to you.
Well, I got a deal for you. I'm going to start an automobile factory. We're going to make automobiles, and if you come and help us put your car together, we'll give you this car for lesser price.
Yeah.
I'm always picking on
Some people would do it.
Yeah, well, I just want people to remember, this
Oh,
is
yeah.
this is a corporate business way of saving money by one, putting people out of work when you're doing somebody's job. That could be a single mother that really needs this job that she's not going to get now because you're doing it. And 2 is you're a free store employee. And, and I don't know if the stores have thought about it, but I see a lawsuit coming sooner or later. Somebody's going to be in there doing something the stores forced them to do, and they're going to get hurt, and they're going to sue because by doing this work, I am representing you and your store as an unpaid employee, which I think is illegal anyway.
Well, I think they've created it on purpose. They give you a crappy service for so many years that then doing like the Scanner Shop is
Yeah.
so much quicker because you don't have to deal with any of the dumbasses in the stores.
See, that's the thing.
And so you just do it quicker yourself. and get out.
Everybody's in a hurry. It's quicker. It's quicker. And I guess my mind is why? Do you know that on my videos, I watch my analytics really close. The average person doesn't like to watch much of anything over 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
2 minutes. And if you do a short, and I've proven this, I put a few shorts up, which are usually about 30 seconds long. 30 seconds. I get more views on a 30-second video than I do of a 15-minute video that took me days to edit and to get all the information in there. I get more views on a short of me standing out here in the sun going, well, it looks like it's going to rain today, and I'll get 4,000 hits just like that.
Crazy. Whereas I would rather watch something that's 30 minutes long. I'll either sit down in the evening, eat
I think
some
that's the
goodies
reason
and
why.
watch something,
I think that's the
or-
reason why 60 Minutes went off the air. Nobody wanted to watch it for an hour.
No, or I'll put the iPad in the kitchen if I'm preparing food and just.
It's like
watch
books though.
while
No
I'm
one
doing
sits and
something
reads a
else.
book anymore.
No, they
It's all
don't.
audio books are now.
Right, it's all
Everything's
audio.
audiobooks.
And when I had my semi truck, I did a lot of audiobooks. Well, I couldn't read it,
No, and I drive a lot.
Yeah.
For work as well, so it's just put it on the.
Yeah.
On the
I do kind of what's an audio thing, and what they call them podcasts,
Yeah.
on my Patreon page because I got a half a dozen members on there that work around here, and they can't really watch a video, and they always send me an email saying, "Man, do some stories and things on there so we can listen to you while we're working."
Yeah.
So I put them on there just for those guys. I just think they're kind of stupid stories, but they keep sending me emails saying, "Man, do more. That was great." All I'm doing is talking about something that I've done in my life that was kind of stupid, Like the time I almost set the house on fire because I was making French fries. I don't think I've done that video yet.
I remember the one where you went hunting I think it was the first time with your dad.
Oh, deer hunting?
Yeah.
And I pooped on my suspenders? Yeah,
That's right.
I did. I mean, and that really happened.
Yeah.
And then after I got all the way up after all that trouble, it was so cold, and it was my first year deer hunting, and they were kind of teaching me a little of the tricks on a cold day, top of the mountain, sit and wait for a deer to walk your path. And he told you, hey, take the poncho, you put it on, take the snow in it, make like a little pup tent, and your head's like the pole. Start this little sterno, slide the lid on it to get the temperature just. Well, the heat comes out right here.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, I'm sleeping. And then when I wake up, it's pitch black dark, and I hear gunfire. Well, that was the rule back then. If you wasn't back by dark, every 15 minutes they would shoot a gun, and then you had to follow that sound back to get back to the camper. And I went down the wrong side of the mountain. I did. But yeah, people seem to like to hear that kind of thing. So yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, they're good those.
Well, you've told a couple of stories when you were working driving the trucks back in the early days when you started. They were good.
The worst stories about driving a truck is because you put in so many miles, you travel so everywhere, that you see a lot of serious stuff. You know, people killed on the road, and
we can't believe how many accidents there are just on the turnpike going backwards and forward to Orlando last week with our children, and accidents upon accidents, and the amount of blowouts. I've never seen so many blowouts on cars. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
China tires.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, they call them in the RV world. They call them China bombs.
Yeah.
And I had them on my dolly. I didn't realize what the numbers was, and I got to checking. I'm like, man, I got China bombs on here. I took them off right away.
Yeah.
And when you go to all these stores, everybody's all about, and I'm not putting it down. Everybody's all about saving money. So the Goodyear tires, the Michelin tires, the good stuff is down in sales, and they're selling these things that you never heard this name before.
Yeah.
And it'll be an American name. The China's gotten wise on that.
Yeah.
It'll be because something like Bob Miller tire. I go, what the hell's a Bob Miller tire? And then you come to find out it's a China bomb with a different name on it. So you have to really be careful with that.
Yeah, I've never seen so many.
But a lot of the wrecks you'll see around here is basically just because elderly people, they have restrictions. They shouldn't be driving, but I'm sympathetic because they got to get to the store. They got to do things, but they shouldn't be driving. They have night blindness. My wife just had cataracts taken out of her eye. And I've been telling her for a long time, your driving's getting worse. I mean, it's almost like her depth perception was gone. And I could tell because she would drive along, she hit the brakes, like we're not close enough to that stoplight yet. No, there we are, you know. And I said, you're getting worse. So finally she had cataracts taken out, where I think she's fine now. Hope so, because we got this new car. It makes me nervous when she leaves in it. I keep thinking she's going to call me up saying, you ain't going to believe this.
Well, I've seen several, obviously very old people, and obviously they shrink as they get older, and it's
and
like
the steering wheel's up here, right? Yeah, they can't see over the steering wheel.
It's just the same as at home.
I'm sure they're just following the lampposts.
Sue's mother was that way. She was a small lady, and it wasn't she wasn't a bad driver or anything. No, she was a great driver. She was just so small, and the car she had did not have tilt wheel, and it did not have an electric seat. This is years ago, so it was either pull the seat forward, pull the seat back. So she used to sit on a phone book when she get in the car to prop her butt up her a little bit to see over the steering wheel, because she said, I'm not going to be like this, you know. Yeah. So she was really firm about that. But you just got to watch it here. You've been down in the squares. A lot of drinking goes on down there, and that's fine. I don't care what they do down there, but stagger home, man. But they get in that golf cart, drive down this dark thing at night, and
a lot of people walking through the tunnels as well.
It's dangerous.
And you can't, you know, they're not all lit.
They're not really well lit. They're getting better at it. They're starting to put lights in.
Painting some of them as well.
It's supposed to reflect the light a lot. They're starting to do that, so they're getting better at it.
There is lights in a couple of the new ones down Fenway. You said, look, there's lights in this tunnel.
Yeah, Finney's got problems, but as time goes on, when a developer turns all it over to the residents, and the resident starts paying all this out of their pocket, they'll come up with a million different ways to spend another $1 million, just like they did here.
Yeah.
And what they ought to be doing is making him do it now while he's paying for it. But everybody's out there at Edna's on the green, listening to the music and not paying attention.
Yeah, I think there's such an urgency at the moment to get here for people. There seems to be a bit of a frenzy at the moment. The prices are sky high. they're vastly higher than
That is a
2
concern.
years ago.
than
Yeah.
2 years ago, and there seems no let up in the demand.
We're
whether
worried
the
about being
COVID's driven
priced
that.
out of being able to buy somewhere in retirement,
Yeah.
aren't we?
Yeah.
At the moment,
It's-
because
I read somewhere last like 2 years ago where they were asking when prices really started going nuts, when they thought the prices would come down on these houses, and I said, well, when the demand goes down.
Yeah.
Right now, the demand, have you seen it? I mean, the
Yeah,
demand
it's
is like
crazy.
sky high. You can't hardly get anything unless you jump right on it. And they said, when's the demand going to go down? I said, well, when the baby boomers quit retiring, and at that time there was a report in a newspaper, and I don't remember which one, that it seems to me the baby boomers at that time, I've done this like 4 years ago, it was going to be like in 10 years. So 6 years from now is when baby boomers are supposed to peak.
Right.
We haven't even peaked yet.
Blimey. Yeah, I think
That's what
as
she
well,
said.
The retirement age is coming down here as well. I noticed as well. Everybody would come here when they were like 60, 65.
Yeah.
Now there's a lot of people coming here in their early 50s.
Yeah. Well, a lot of those people, though, because of COVID, in some ways, I think have found out now that they don't need to go to work to do a job. They can do it remotely. In America was never really big on that.
Yeah.
We were always big on companies are always big on keeping their thumb on you. And how do we do that? Clock in.
Yeah.
I got you for 8 hours right here. You're mine. I mean, when I was on sick leave with UPS, I broke my arm. I had a fracture on my back, and I had to go to therapy every day. But every night I had to report to work, and they would put me in a room with a TV and a pencil and paper in case they needed me for something. And that's where I had to be for 8 hours in order to get my disability from that company, which I paid for. That was their company policy. And that's the thing, how we get around laws here in America. Corporate says it's a policy.
Yeah.
It's not a rule. It's not a law. It's our policy. And so they get by with that.
Yeah. It is a bit crazy, but yeah, it's I think a lot. Of
How do you legally discriminate in your country?
How do we legally discriminate?
Legal, yeah, that's how we legally do it here. It's a policy.
We don't. We're. I think we're a lot more left wing.
Oh, are you?
Certainly in Europe. I actually work for a Belgian company, and I spend a lot of time in Belgium.
Mhm.
And their sort of HR laws and protection of employees is incredibly high as part of the EU. Now the UK's out of the EU, it will get weaker, and that's why the rail workers are striking this week, because the law's not there to support them as it was before. But they're a lot more liberal and a lot more supportive. Lots of things like holidays. So a lot of people in the US don't get paid holiday. You get a minimum of 5 weeks paid holiday in Europe.
Yeah, we just get major.
And it's all
Listen,
paid.
we've got a lot of days they call holidays, but I keep telling everybody, I said, unless you get it off with pay, it's not a holiday.
Yeah, no, you get it with pay.
Pay.
You get bank holidays paid. So that adds to more days off, and they're on about at the moment in Belgium making the 4-day week law. So
I'm for it. I like it.
So you do 9 hours a day, 4 days a week.
So 36 hours is a normal work week.
37 and a half is a standard.
40 is
40
quite
is
normal.
old school number, but it's never normally more than 40.
Huh, interesting.
But 37 and a half is the standard. But then you have paid holidays, say 5 weeks paid holidays, bank holidays are paid. Obviously healthcare's free.
Healthcare's free.
Yeah.
Is it good healthcare?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So when you call your doctor, you get right in, or do you have to wait like a long
You
time?
can
or-
get in. It's no different to going to urgent care here, where you have to go and sit and wait to see a doctor, but you'll get seen within a couple of hours. If it's non-urgent and you want to make an appointment, that might take
a week.
a week. Most operations are done.
Vincent says, I feel like I'm listening to an old school party line on the phone. he feels like he's interrupting our conversation here. I just go ahead. I'm just thought.
We could go if you.
No. I do this all the time. I sit out here every Wednesday around noonish, and then generally I just get caught up
Yeah,
with
we've
people.
watched you.
You know what you're doing, they'll ask me questions if I got it. And it's funny, the questions they ask generally isn't about the villages. They like, how'd you and Sue meet? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I forget, one time I was here, and then what's her name, Gracie, and her husband dropped by, and now Gracie works for me on the show. I might get you to work for me in the UK.
go.
Yeah, you see, you do video and you send it to me, and then I'll do this little video thing about bad parking. You have bad parking? I do bad parking here once in a
Oh,
while.
we've seen lots of bad parking in
Oh,
the last
you
couple of weeks.
not here? Surely not here.
Oh, terrible, terrible. And it's crazy. I mean, we rented a car. We got a much bigger car than we would normally get.
Got a Suburban.
We got this Suburban, which is like a tank, and it barely fits in the garage. We have like 4 inches at the back of the garage to get this thing in at night, and you know, the parking spaces account for that, but people still can't seem to be able to get their cars in these parking spaces, or even their golf carts in these parking spaces, without being across the line. It's insane.
And parking spaces here are a lot bigger than they are in the UK.
A lot bigger, yeah.
There's a lot of people understand. Hi, Sue. You want to tell them that you're not Sue?
I'm not Sue, I'm Andrea.
Oh, they're just so used to seeing Sue on here. This is Sue, and this is her new boyfriend over here. Sue, so you guys know, Sue right now, we've had a neighbor whose husband suddenly passed away, and she's not health-wise in really good shape. She really needs to be in assisted living, and she's getting ready to go to assisted living. So she's selling everything, selling her house, she's selling her car. She's already sold a bunch of stuff, and she comes by and gets Sue to go help her. Right now she's taking her car to a car dealer, and Sue had to go. I don't know why, but anyway, Sue had to go. So that's where Sue's at. She's been helping the neighbor out.
That's good. We do joke whenever the EMS flies past with its lights going and its sirens going that there's another house going up for sale.
Yeah, a realtor will be on the tails of it.
Well, if you ever are interested in buying a house, let me know, because I may know somebody here that's there's always a house that pops up.
Yeah,
People
we're-
die. I mean,
Yes,
I hate to
this
say
is
that,
it.
but that's what happens. People,
Exactly.
We're
You
not
know.
yet. The dollar rate isn't good enough.
yeah. Otherwise, if that bothers you, and it does bother some people. I know one lady. She's one of them people that likes to go to fortune tellers and reading cards and the crystal ball. So she'll actually hire somebody here. I don't know who it is. If it's a pre-owned home, she's got a company where you can hire her, and they'll come in and they'll check your house out for spirits.
Oh yeah.
And if it's being haunted, that they can chase them out.
It's quite funny because not the last house we were in, the one before that in the UK was I think was probably older than your country, and it was nearly 400 years old.
That was older than that. We couldn't get a date on it.
And
We had some odd goings
that-
on.
that-
Oh, here's
that
what
was
I
very
said hi to
haunted.
Sue. She's on her. She's talking to me. She said, "About time, turd." Am I the turd? I'm running late because of the mower over here. I told you about that.
Yeah.
So, how long are you going to be here?
We go home on Saturday. We've been here 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Not long enough. We're just settling in. We could do another month.
You're going to be here another month?
No, we could
No,
do another month. We go home on Saturday.
Oh,
We've had 3 weeks.
maybe me and Sue can meet you guys somewhere for some lunch and a
Yeah,
glass of
we'd
iced tea or
love that.
something.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
yeah.
Buy your lunch. You'll
No, you don't have to do that.
No,
I just see before you have to go back.
We
great. And
I remember the first time, and people have been watching you for many years from the beginning, which we have.
That makes me
Because we
feel.
found
That
this
makes me
place by
feel
accident.
younger.
Yeah, no, well, it was about 6 years ago, which was about when you started doing this.
Started in 2014, but I really didn't get serious about it until about
Yeah, it's-
2016.
And we found this place by accident. We were coming back from
I think
Daytona,
it's
I think it was.
Daytona.
And we were with the kids in the car. They were younger then, and we were looking for somewhere to eat. And we came in, and I think it must have been Morse that we were
Yeah,
driving
it was
down. I was
Morse
like,
then.
"There's a golf course there, and there's a golf course there, and there's a golf course there." And we were like, "Where is this place?" And we ended up at Lake Sumter, and we were like, "This is amazing." And we came back about 6 months later and stayed for a week here. But in that period, we were researching it, and obviously found yourself, and you give us so much valuable information in that 6 months that we could never have picked up from anywhere.
Yeah,
else.
this whole area.
Unbiased opinion.
Yeah, this whole area. If
So-
you're a golfer, as you've seen,
Yeah.
there's a lot to choose from here, and within a 10-minute golf cart ride to almost all of them.
Yeah.
The furthest one away would probably have to be Belle Glade, but once you learn the golf cart trails, I can be from here to Belle Glade Country Club in, I don't know, 15 minutes at the
Yeah,
most.
Yeah,
It's not that far.
Oh, we went for dinner.
We went to
couple of
dinner there
nights
a couple
ago.
of nights ago.
Have you played golf while you're here?
Yeah, I've played. This is the first time I actually brought my clubs with me. I haven't normally.
Are you right-handed or left?
Right.
I got two sets of clubs in here. If you ever need a set,
Yeah, we I just
Have you ever thought
it's
about playing
just
with
easy.
hybrids?
No,
I've got hybrids.
no. One of my biggest failings is that I can't hit a rescue club, so hybrids are a little bit more difficult for me. But it's dead easy to
It's
bring
not
out clubs. I have a
expensive to bring
case
your
that they
clubs
come
out.
in. And
Let me
then
ask you
it's
this: on a
nothing.
regular set of clubs, do you hit the irons better than the woods? What I'll call
Yes.
woods.
Yeah.
Or do you hit the woods better than? I mean,
No,
as
I
far
hit
as
the
hitting them
irons.
straight, hitting them consistently.
Yeah, irons.
Irons. Okay, then
Yeah.
hybrids might not be.
No, I struggle with
Yeah.
hybrid clubs, and I don't carry one. I go straight from a 4-iron to a driver, so I don't have anything in between.
Hey, you
at
do
all.
what's good for you.
So
But you
I
tried
can't-
to play the first week, didn't you? And you were right next to where the house burnt down.
yeah, we was at
Bacall.
Bacall, and I hit the first shot, and it just went
And the lightning
massive
started.
bang, lightning, and we came straight off. and then we went down to is it Mallory Country Club to get something to eat with this group
I
of
like
people.
Mallory.
And we were stood outside, and you could see the smoke coming up from the house because it was only across the way from there.
Oh, it struck a house.
And the house was gutted.
Total.
Yeah,
Totally.
there was a lot of lightning strikes here.
So,
I did a video on that here recently about lightning strikes. Of the house struck, I think, down in Marsh Bend, and it burnt down. And I did the video because the same thing happened here. It leads to the argument of there's a company here that goes around and pushes lightning rods. And, do you recommend them? I don't recommend anything. I just say if you think having lightning rods saves you and you sleep well at night having them, then you should be buying them.
yeah.
But as an old farm boy, I go back to where my grandpa, my dad, and we had barns full of hay and the old way of farming, not like today. And they were talking about lightning rods and whatever. And they were under the assumption lightning rods attracts lightning. And so they would never put lightning rods on a barn. And I can tell you, the 20, 30 years that they stacked hay, those barns were never hit by lightning ever. But we do know of a farmer that had lightning rods, and his barn burnt down because it got hit by lightning. And so that's where they got this idea. So there's a guy down here that had lightning rods installed on his house, and the day that he closed on that house, they got hit, and all the lightning. This is right before they put the lightning rods in. They got hit, and they went to his box and burnt everything.
Yeah.
Warranty doesn't pay for that. Insurance won't pay for Mother Nature stuff. Somehow he worked it out with them, though, where he had a deductible, and they had to rewire like half the house.
Yeah.
I don't know if he had anything hooked up to it, like
And
TVs.
Well, the thing is as well, we were talking about electric cars earlier.
Yeah.
Your electric car's plugged in and your house gets struck, it'll blow your car up.
Seriously.
Yep. Yeah,
Wow.
we're just having an electric box put in at home for a new electric car, and it has to have a new dedicated surge protector put on it just for that. So if the house get hit by lightning or a surge from the
Right.
grid, then it won't blow the car up.
Still say there's got to be something you can do because I got computers and stuff in my
Yeah,
studio.
you have surge
Yeah, we got
protectors put
surge
in.
protector for the
Yeah,
whole
so-
room.
But I have to have a dedicated one just for the car to stop it from happening. But what makes me laugh is that I read some of the other day was on about here, and they were on about the lightning, and they were on about, and I see so many people doing the lotto here. That everybody's trying to win the lottery,
Yeah.
and you stick more chance of getting struck by lightning than you do of winning the lottery. So
Yeah, that's true. I saw that same article. Do you guys have very many serious storms in UK like we do here?
No.
Like, do you get tornadoes?
no, we don't get tornadoes, we don't get hurricanes, we don't get if we get a storm, it's 60, 70 mile an hour winds, and it's like once a year, maybe. And most of it's in the north.
Do you ever see the sunshine?
Rarely.
It's hot at home at the moment.
Yeah, it's hot. At the moment. It's as hot as here
It's
at
hot.
home at the moment.
Yeah.
We don't have air
But it's
conditioning.
freak weather at the moment.
Yeah.
We're just coming into summer, the same as you.
We might
So,
have 2 or 3 nice
Average
weeks.
temperature through the summer is 20 to 25 degrees. So that was about
85.
it's about around 80 is as hot as it really gets. But
But we don't have air conditioning.
we don't have air. We're not designed for
You
it.
don't
because-
really need
because It's
it.
a short period of time, so
Yeah.
you don't
Kind of
really
like
install
having
it in the houses.
heaters down here. We really don't need them, but we have them, but we don't need them.
Yeah.
We get a lot of rain and
Yeah,
overcast weather. And
yeah.
So what does the average Brit over there think about America and what's going on over here? You guys got thinking that we've lost a screw loose somewhere, right? That part of we're like one tree short of a full forest.
I don't care. I absolutely love it here. We've been coming for 27 years.
Yeah, we
and
even got married here.
We got, yeah.
So,
But what do they think of us over there?
Well,
You've been to the
well,
local
you get-
taverns.
it's like anywhere. It's like people here talking about people in the UK. Until you've been there,
I've never heard anybody talk about UK
yeah,
at all.
unless you've been somewhere and experienced it and spoke to
Yeah.
people and spent time around different areas, then I don't think you can have a
I'm talking.
fair
I'm
judgment.
talking politically. They
But
got to think that our political
politically, over the
system's
last couple of
screwy.
years, yeah, they think you got a screw loose. For
Yeah,
sure.
sure. We think so.
But there wasn't a surprise either. That was the other thing. Everybody expected what's happened for good or bad reason. It's not for me to say.
Yeah.
But they think you're equally mad now with the way it's going now. It's.
What do they think about all these shootings we're having in the country here lately?
Oh,
You have a
again-
country of no guns.
Again, they don't understand it because they don't come here, they don't experience it. They don't understand that owning a gun is for protection because there's so many guns already out there. It's easy to be politically correct about these things if you're starting from ground zero and saying there's no guns, so why should you have guns, which we have in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're already in a place where there are so many guns, to say why you shouldn't have a gun is a very difficult argument to have. I think the biggest confusion we have is, why do you need a semi-automatic gun?
Well, I think that's the big confusion here too. You know.
Have a gun, great. Go to shooting ranges, go
Yeah.
hunting. Nobody has a problem with
Right.
that. Even in the
I've
UK.
heard.
But why do you need something that can fire?
Yeah,
so many
I've heard a lot of
rounds?
people here even say the same thing. They're not against doing away with guns whatsoever. And actually, under the law, the government can't do away. We have a Second Amendment right. But what they do though to curb it a lot is they tax the shit out of it.
Yes.
Like at one time, ammo was like a dime a dozen, and then all of a sudden, a box of ammo went up to $200.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly, and that's what they've done with smoking in the UK. So they wanted.
You
to
smoke?
No, but that's how they've taxed it. So a packet of
Right.
20 cigarettes, say a pack of 20 Marlboro, is the equivalent of about $30 now. In the
So
UK.
your bars around here, as you've seen, almost everything's non-smoke. You go into a restaurant, any
You
public
can't smoke
area.
anywhere.
No.
You don't do it over there either.
No.
I'm just curious.
You legally can't, and they're even on about banning it in public parks now, in the open spaces.
I think they ban it here amongst every sporting
Yeah.
event now, like baseball arenas, football arenas. I guess that's
Yeah.
what you call them.
Oh, you can't do that. And they're on I think it's coming in the next few months where the legal smoking age is 18, and they're going to up it to 21.
That don't do anything.
and-
We did that here. That don't do anything.
But they do. But taxation on every time there's a budget, it goes up. It goes up.
Yeah.
It goes up. And like I say, it's relatively cheap here to smoke. Like I say, packet of 20 is $30. It's an expensive habit.
Say that again.
A packet of 20 cigarettes is about $30.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Are they about £20?
Yeah, it's about £20.
Hey, chat. I'm not a smoker. Somebody on chat tell me, how much does a pack of cigarettes cost nowadays? We're talking brand name
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, like a Marlboro.
Marlboro, Winston,
Yeah.
Camel, whatever.
Yeah.
How much is a pack of cigarettes nowadays? You say it's $20 to $30 over there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A pack.
A pack.
I'd say about $25 for a pack of 20.
Whoops. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. I got it. No, I don't. I lost it again. As you see, I'm real techie.
I don't know how much a packet of cigarettes is. We don't smoke, but
No, I think it's about
you
that much.
think they're about 20
Marcia's saying the same thing. Gas is too expensive to go anywhere. Nobody's saying anything yet about how much cigarettes are. All these people probably don't smoke. They don't know.
Well, we've got this Suburban at the moment, and I filled it up. It was empty, and
$115.
it was $115. I don't think I've ever spent that much money on petrol ever.
And car hire for us to come this time is so expensive.
Yeah.
So expensive.
Well, apparently nobody on here smokes.
You don't see a lot of people smoking here.
No, smoking is really curbed. You see some young people. So let me ask you this. Here's a fad going around the United States that I am totally against. I don't care if it's male or female, young or old.
You're going to say vaping.
No, I don't care about vaping one way or the other. Even though at UPS, where I retired from, you cannot smoke, you cannot vape anywhere on UPS property.
Yeah.
So 2 or 3 guys said, "Well, I'll go smoke in my car. They can't stop me. It's mine." They fired them all. Told them, "Get the car off the property. You're done." And when they went to the union about it, because we are union, union said, "Was that the rule?" And they said, "Yeah." So you broke the rule. But I can smoke in my car, not if it's sitting on their property.
No,
They finally got
legally.
their jobs back, but I'm telling you, it took them 6 weeks to get the job back. So for 6 weeks, they didn't get no money. They didn't get no paycheck. You know.
Well, a lot of people in the UK are giving up smoking because you can't smoke.
No, it's
most
against the
places,
law to smoke in a
company-owned vehicle.
owned vehicle.
Oh.
So
Against
they
the
get-
law. It's not even the company's rule. It's against the law.
So they're giving
to
up
do it.
smoking and they're starting vaping instead because it's a lot cheaper than cigarettes. So
Right.
everywhere you go, there's these
But it's even worse.
fruity
It
smells and
it's just awful.
yeah.
So I guess in order to pass a law, if it's anything like our law, somebody comes up with a reason why we need a law, and then it goes through a system, and then they all vote on it, and then by a certain date, the law takes effect.
Yeah.
Is yours kind of similar to
Yeah,
that?
yeah. I think it's a lot quicker than yours. Though.
So what was the reason to say we need a law that says nobody in this country can smoke at a business?
Because health
Passive
and safety.
smoking.
One is passive smoking. Two, it's welfare of employees.
Okay.
And we're
So they
very-
couldn't have a smoking area.
They could have a smoking area, but
Outside.
it's outside of the premises. But health and safety is
Right.
really
So,
top
but they can
priority.
go, if they're on break, they could, like, say, walk out back.
Yeah, they could walk off the premises, and there'll be a smoking station
Okay.
outside. So you
Okay.
see a lot of people smoking outside of
Right.
their buildings.
Yeah, we did too. We had that
There's
for a
like
while.
canopy
That didn't
lights
last
and
either. They finally done away with that.
yeah.
Well, initially they used to put up little huts for them and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And now they've realised it doesn't fix the problem, so they've taken away all that stuff. So come the winter, do you really want to go out there and it's raining and it's snowing and it's cold and still have a cigarette?
They will. I've seen them stand out there below zero, shivered and shaking, and just, you know,
crazy.
I've seen guys smoke it down to their fingertips.
Is it illegal at home to smoke with a child in the car
Yes.
in your own private
Yeah,
car?
in
It
your
is,
own
yes.
private car, you can't smoke in the car.
I've always said that
Child.
here. I don't know if it's a law. If it ain't, it should be. I've always said that if somebody's smoking in a car with a little child, child seat in the back, that's child endangerment,
Yep.
Yeah.
and they should be arrested for it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
illegal.
That's illegal at home.
Yeah.
It's illegal at home. Same with using your phone or
Do you have seatbelt law?
yes,
Yes.
yeah,
Do
I've
you?
had it since the 60s.
Really? We have them too, but nobody pays attention to it. Really, old people do, but the young people don't care.
Yeah, no, actually, it came in the late 70s. It came in the seatbelt law because I remember, like most people, going on
Yeah.
a long journey, lying
My
on the
dad
parcel
didn't put a
shelf,
seat- yeah.
no seat belts or anything growing up. But yeah, since the late 70s, it's been.
The cops here has pulled people over for some of the stuff that you'll read and you just shake your head. That the cop saw this child in the back seat walking from one side of the seat to the other side while the lady's driving 60 mile an hour down the road. And so when he pulled it over, she says, "I can't keep him in. He keeps taking that off and getting out and he won't stay in." And, we had a boy when he was young. And this is back when the child restraints were not as good as they are today. And he would do that too. He would take it off all the time because he just thought it was funny. That we'd stop and put it back on. So leave it on. I'm not kidding you. I'll beat your ass.
Yeah.
We never did. He knew we wouldn't, but we tell him that. I'll beat your ass. And then we get down the road, he'd take it off again.
Yeah.
So I kind of sympathize with that, but still, I don't know. You got to do something, right?
Yeah, but yes, you'll get a ticket for it. That's for sure, and you get points on your license. So same with speeding. You get in the UK, if you get caught speeding,
Mhm.
if it's only 10 mile an hour over the speed limit, you'll get a ticket, probably 60 to 100 pounds fine, and you get 3 points on your license, and they stay on for 3 years on your license, and you're only allowed 12 points. You get to 12 points, you get banned for a year. So there's a lot more restrictions that
Right.
way, whereas here you just get a ticket, you just pay a ticket, and you just
I don't know if
carry
we
on.
get points for that or not. They change that all the time.
But you get points for
Uh,
everything now. If you,
yeah,
like
we
you
get
say,
points here
Using
too.
your phone is now 6 points.
I remember once in a semi truck, I got nailed because in a commercial vehicle, the laws are different than in a car. And I was in California. That's like a whole nother country out there. I got nailed for going 65 in a 45 on a downhill side of a mountain, which enters into commercial vehicles only. And I was in the center lane, and when you're in the semi truck going downhill, right, it's supposed to be right lane only, even though there's no signs that tell you that. He just says, "You're the driver, you're the professional, you're supposed to know." and my ticket at that time, and I'm going back probably in the 90s, was $600 for the ticket, and then they sent a letter to me about paying it, and on the bottom it told you sign this, send us a check, blah blah blah, and it said that because of what I got ticketed for, the three different things, that was considered to be reckless driving. So I called my family attorney. I said, "What does this mean?" He said, "That means you better fight it, because if you get nailed with that, that puts your license on hold. You ain't got a job."
Yeah.
So we had to go to court, and they settled. I don't know how they settle things, but all I know is he told me, he said, "Sit here. I'm gonna go talk to the judge." So you're just sitting there, right? I mean, you're at everybody's mercy. And he goes up there. First thing he turns around, looks at you, and he gives you one of these, you know. So you walk up there, and he looked up. The judge looked at me and said, "Okay, Mr. Smith, I understand that you're going to plead guilty on these." And you look at your attorney, because I hadn't even talked to him, right?
Yeah.
And my attorney says, "Yes, you are." He said, "Okay, here's the deal we worked out." And he told me what the deal was. You're going to go to driving school. You got to do this and this and this. And he said, and at the end of all this, he said, once the driving school sends me the certificate showing that you completed it, he said, then all these tickets are going to be waived. All you're going to have to pay is a $50 court cost. I said, "Any points on my license?" He said, "Nope." He says, like he never had any. Okay, that was acceptable to me.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
what are you going to do?
We do that. If you're under 10% over the speed limit, you can
do a
do.
course. We call it the naughty course.
We call it the naughty course, a driver's awareness course, and you don't get any points on your license.
It's an hour's course you do online. You don't, you know. It's,
Oh, back then, oh no, you had to go to class.
you did originally, but during the pandemic, they had to do it in online,
Virtually, yeah.
and now they've kept it that way.
Well, thank God for the pandemic.
Yeah, so it's much easier now. But our driving test is so much more complex than yours. I mean, here they drive around some cones in a car park.
Do we?
At like 15, and you're getting a license. Back home, you have a theory part, which the book is like this thick,
Mhm.
that you have to pass, and then you've got probably
40 hours worth
40 hours worth of lessons
with an instructor.
Before you even take your test. And the test is an hour long, and it's a lot more in depth. You've got a parallel park, you've got to reverse around a corner, you've got to do emergency stops. There's so much more to that, and you can get, fail on very minor things. So it's a lot more difficult. And we notice a lot of American people that come to live in the UK, it takes them 5-6 times to pass their test.
Don't you just hate it when a foreigner comes to live in your country?
No, we don't mind it. We don't mind it.
Come on, let's get this fight started.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite funny, because when you were saying about the workers, the one we had pre-pandemic, it wasn't too bad. When the pandemic come, we have a lot of Eastern European workers do a lot of things in the UK, from plumbers to electricians to drivers and things such like.
Warehouse.
And they all went home, and it left us with a massive shortage of people.
Okay, your cigarettes was how much? $20?
$25 to $30.
Marjorie Smith says that cigarettes here is $8 to $10 a pack.
Yeah.
So we're about half your price, like groceries,
Minimum.
right?
Yeah.
That's amazing. I would have thought you guys been kind of online with us here on a lot of this.
No, it's same with spirits. Spirits are quite expensive here compared to
Spirits.
Beer is cheap.
I love the way you guys talk.
Liquor.
Spirit.
You call it
Are we
liquor,
talking about liquor?
We call it spirits.
But yeah, the liquor is a lot more expensive here. In fact, on the way out here,
What do you call the hood of a car?
Bonnet.
A bonnet. I never got that either.
and we call the back the boot,
The boot?
The trunk
Trunk's
is the
the
boot.
boot.
What do you call a garage door?
garage door.
Or do you?
Yeah.
I would have thought that had a fancier name.
No, yeah.
No, it's just
What's a
garage
lift?
door.
A lift.
Elevator.
An elevator. And what is a loo?
Well, it can be lots of things. You can call it
Toilet.
WC,
Probably
Quasi.
toilet.
privy.
Privy.
It's an
Quasi.
old word.
Yeah.
Quasi.
I just heard somebody uptown one time saying I got to go visit the loo,
Yes.
and I was always thought, what the hell's a loo?
A loo.
I thought it was a restroom, but
No,
I
it
wasn't
It
sure.
comes from because toilets were invented as a request by, I think it was Louis the 16th or something like that,
Yeah.
and that's where the word loo comes from.
Have you ever been to Japan?
No, I'm due to go later this year. I couldn't go because you couldn't fly over Russia, so a lot of the flights got cancelled.
Okay.
So I travelled all over the world, but I've not. It was the first time I was going to go, but it's been put back till later in the year.
And what business are you in that makes
Carpets.
you a carpet?
I work for a Belgian carpet manufacturer.
So you come
large
at like
company.
hotels in Vegas and
Yeah, we
around here?
do everything from residential stuff all the way up. We make a lot of the yarns for a lot of the American carpet manufacturers. We make their yarn.
are you here to
Makes their
talk to
carpet.
developers companies about putting carpet in their new houses down here?
No,
No?
we don't do that bit. We just sell to other companies
Uh-huh.
that then do that stuff. So
Hotels?
we do some hotels. In fact, the company I used to work with, they were showing the delivery of the new Disney ships this week coming in,
You did
and I
that
did all
con-
the
con-
carpets,
you did
designed
that
all the
contract,
carpets.
didn't you?
On the Disney cruise?
On all the Disney
Which
cruise
one?
ships.
All of them?
All of them. All the they've got 3 new ones
The first one
Right.
is Wish, isn't it? That's
yeah,
just been.
delivered.
I was getting ready to say,
but
that's
they're made
a-
in Germany. They are. They're
That's a
built in
pretty
Germany.
good chunk of change right there to do all the ships.
76,000 meters per ship in carpet.
Meters.
Yeah, square meters. So,
I like it. He
so-
talks
so
to me.
about-
He
about
talks to me like
85
I'm like a bloke from over there.
yeah.
Meters.
So that's about 90,000 square yards.
In the United
Oh.
States, we relate everything to dollars.
Yeah, it's about it's about $4 million worth of carpet
All right.
per ship.
And your commission's 10%?
I wish. Yeah, I wish.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys have a good time here. You know your way around.
Yeah.
Did that golf cart come with your house?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's cool. Always get a house with a golf cart if you
Yeah,
can.
we do. Yeah, we've had some. We've had 2.
Yeah.
Quite strange.
Yeah.
And we rented a 6-seater for a day last week. We got the kids with us, and we went round because there was 5 of us, and we rented it from the village's golf store in Brownwood, which was excellent.
Never
It was
been
like
there.
$50.
Yeah,
for
I know where
the
it's
day. It was
at, but I've
great.
never been in there.
They were superb in there.
Like everything else, probably a little pricey compared to the outside stores.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
It was ease though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just go down and pick it
But
up.
it's convenient as hell.
Yeah, exactly. So, and in fact, we had it for almost 2 days because they said, we said we'll bring it back because we've got to go out early the next morning. They said, well, just keep it till 2.
What's your favorite golf course so far?
Well, I've only played 2.
what 2 have you played?
I played Bacall, and I played.
Bacall? Oh my God, that's way up there.
Yeah, it's at
But
near
that's with the
Sumter.
group that you're
Yeah.
playing there again tonight, aren't you?
Yeah.
With the Facebook
And,
group.
and then I
that-
played at.
was it Sweetwater?
No, Sweet Gum.
Sweet Gum. Sweet
Sweet
something,
Gum, pretty
yeah.
course.
Yeah.
A lot of trees and yeah.
So that was nice.
Was it in good shape?
That was in much better. No, that wasn't in great shape. Bacall was in better shape.
Yeah.
But I heard on some of the conversations on YouTube or Facebook or something, they were saying that actually Belglade wasn't in great condition. But
Yeah, see, the problem is especially on the executive courses, the more popular ones, especially since they don't really have that many down there yet. They're working on it, but they don't have that many. And in the summertime or wintertime, they get so overplayed,
yeah.
and a lot of people don't follow the rules.
Oh,
And
no.
you just-
I think it's probably a habit because fortunately the courses I play at home are very nice courses, so that they're manicured
sure,
in an inch of their life usually. So I find myself coming here and repairing like everybody else's
Right.
pitch marks.
yeah, they're real
before I
bad about it.
do my own.
Somebody will have
So-
and I'm not picking on, but somebody will have a stroke. He still wants to play golf, but he drags his right foot,
Yeah.
and he's got spikes on,
Yeah.
and he walks across the green, and you can just see where he's been.
Yeah.
All, you know.
In fact, most courses, even in the winter, you're not allowed to wear heavy spikes anymore. Steel spikes, they've been banned.
I never wore them here. Don't need
You
to.
only need. I mean, you can wear trainers here and it'd be fine.
Yeah, they got them shoes out now with the little what do you call it, indentations on the bottom. They're made of a material or
Yes.
whatever, and they seem to work really well.
Yeah, they're very good.
Yeah.
In fact, I bought a pair the other day while I was here because the ones I brought with me are just a bit too hard, but they're great. They're super comfy and airy. You can't beat them. Really.
Yeah, I haven't had any problem with it. I used to play golf with a guy here that went out and he played barefooted. That's the way he played. He did well.
But I noticed a lot of the ladies they wear almost like these sandals now with the
Yeah,
grippier
I've seen
soles.
them too.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, why do you need? Well, there's nothing wrong with it.
No,
Perfect.
really when it gets down to like golf, tennis wear or golf wear of all the latest and greatest, you always want to talk to the woman around here.
Yeah.
Men don't know anything. Really, they have shoes. Oh, I've been wearing these for 10 years. They fit me just fine. They don't know anything about the new stuff. These golf clubs, my dad gave me these golf clubs, and I'm still using them. You know, but you talk to the women, they'll tell you, oh, this is the new. You can sweat in it. This is the new cooling scarf. They know all that stuff.
It is nice to see so many women playing golf here. Actually,
Yeah, my wife wanted to play when we came down here, but because of her illness she's got, I took her to the driving range over 2 or 3 times. It's not pretty. She can't even swing the club.
I'm not interested in playing at all.
Oh, you should. You should. It keeps your man happy.
No, I think he enjoys going off and getting a couple of hours peace and quiet.
It ain't the golf game. It's after the game that really is where the fun starts.
Yeah, it's a social game. It's good.
Yeah, it's a I played like 7 days a week for years around here, and then this one guy back here, he's a real dick as far as I'm concerned, and the guys that I all played with, as far as I'm concerned, they all took his side to it. So apparently I'm wrong. So I just excluded myself from the whole group. So that's it. I'm done. Not doing any more of it.
And I have golf. Give up the group, but don't give up golf. Golf's a great game.
I don't know. I got other things. I think got Sue coming right there. She'll be glad to see you. Let's see if she remembers you. She should remember. You know what? Tell her. I'm going to tell her that.
I'll let you get on with your live stream, but we'd love to go to them.
There's nobody around here. I live in an area where everybody. This guy here is only here because he's a farmer from Illinois, so his planning's done. Right. So he comes down here real quick, and then when he gets ready to harvest, he'll go back home, and I won't see him half the winter. That guy's in Canada. This lady's got a house in Naples somewhere, so she spends a lot of time down there. I expect the day's going to come. She'd probably sell that place. That guy over there is from Texas in the winter. He's not here either. I mean, this guy over here is from Philadelphia. I keep apologizing to him, saying, "Sorry, you live in Philadelphia." Have you ever been to Philadelphia?
I have. Yes, I have.
You've been all over the world.
I got to tell you, the parts of Philadelphia that I saw, it just ain't for me. Nope.
It's a bit like Detroit, isn't it? Detroit's the same.
Detroit's is really depressed. At one time, and it's hard to tell, but one time when General Motors was what it was, the king of the car world, Detroit was a money city. There was a lot of stuff there.
Yeah, we grew up in a city called Coventry, which was the car city of the UK when we were younger. All our parents worked in the car industry, but now there's like one car factory there now, Jaguar Land Rover.
Mercedes?
No, that's all German.
You guys drive a lot of Mercedes in Europe.
We do.
You used to drive a Mercedes.
I used to have a
It's the one car you miss, isn't it?
Hi, Sue.
Hi, Sue.
Do you remember these people?
I don't.
Well, this guy lives next door to Hubert's daughter.
To Michelle?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, we're staying there at the moment.
He's joining you up. We're not.
You're such a brat.
Remember when we was with Fat Bob up at Lake Sumter, and the guy from England came over and said, "Hey, I got you a present." That's these two guys there.
Okay.
They're renting a house. They're renting a house just right over here on Key.
Oh, cool.
He was driving by and saw I was sitting out here, and he just dropped by and.
We've been sat here for a good hour.
Yeah, he could talk forever.
Oh,
I
we
kept
can
looking at my
too.
phone to see if he would, because when I first turned it on, all I could see was the bushes and there was no sound. I thought there's something wrong with my phone.
No, because we stood on the
I was
drive.
standing over there.
It started to rain.
Well, and everybody kept saying, Skip was taking a commercial break, and I thought he probably went to the
Nah,
bathroom.
everybody on here was probably bored to death, wondering what the hell's that crazy old guy doing out there. I don't even see him on here.
Yeah, well, like I said, I think he lost a couple people there, but
Now you've got unexpected visitors.
oh, and Tanya sent you your lunch.
There you go.
Kentucky.
You want anything to drink or
No,
anything?
no, we-
Sweet tea, wine,
No, we're
don't
going
wanna
to get out
keep
your
this-
way. In
a little bit of liquor,
Some spirits.
spirits.
Yeah, we got plenty of that kind.
So do you guys go down to the square at nights or?
No, not
really.
anymore.
We did the novelty bit at the
The
beginning,
first few times we came,
but we're not sort of ones to get on the dance floor or anything like that. But it's nice that it's there, and you see how many people.
How about
enjoy
down?
it.
Have you been down to Finney, down to say Edna's on the Green?
Yeah, we've been down there. It's okay.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Edna's on the Green's nice,
Yeah.
especially on a day where it's not real hot, shade
Yeah.
trees. Get a couple of tacos on a taco truck.
Yeah,
I
it's
got
fine.
no problem with it.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Yeah. How about Sawgrass area there where they're building all that stuff? McGrady's. That's your kind of place, right, McGrady's?
Do you know what we like? Our favourite place down there is
McDonald's.
Willie Jules.
Willie Jules.
Oh, the barbecue place?
Yeah.
I've never been there.
Excellent.
Is it?
Yeah, you should
Because
try it.
I used to really like Sonny's where we saw you because I like the brisket. And we'd
A
go-
biscuit.
Brisket.
Brisket.
Yeah.
So, beef. Sliced beef.
Sliced
Yeah,
beef.
I've had brisket.
But every time
We
we
went
went
in.
there, they were out. And
Brisket.
like, because everybody eats so early.
I was gonna say
here,
probably a lot
we're
of
not
people.
used to going out to eat at like 5
Six.
o'clock.
6 o'clock.
So we get there at like 6:30.
What time do you normally eat?
6:30.
That's probably normal for the average working guy. That was me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And I find down here people eat early because
Yes.
they're always trying to beat the crowd.
Yeah. So if you go in there at 6:30, they got no brisket. They've run out. So we got fed up with doing that, and so then we found Willie
Willie Jules.
Jules, and it's very good.
Never
Really
been
good.
there. I see. I got my favorite
I'll be
barbecue
back in a
place. I got my favorite barbecue place. I'm really kind of a loyal guy about things like that. You don't know that about me, but I hate change. I don't like change at all.
We don't either. That's why we constantly come to the same place on holiday because we know what we're going to get, how much it's going to cost. We're going to enjoy it,
And you know how it's going to taste. It's going to be cooked the same
Yeah.
way.
and that's,
that's
why
me.
we come to the States because the food is good. I mean, we've been to Spain and other places in
Greece
Europe.
Italy.
It's
and
just not the same.
Do you have a car here?
Yeah.
If you get up around Spanish Springs before you go, I know time's running out. If you've got a Jeep, or you can do it on your phone, is you want to Google Oakwood Fire and Grill. Easy to get to, but it's in the middle of some construction on the highway. So depending on which way you go, you may have to make a U-turn to come back to the parking lot. But if you're in Spanish Springs,
Right.
you're going to be heading south on 27441, like you're going to Leesburg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're on the right side of the road because
Okay.
then you'll see it and you just pull right in.
Okay.
And then when you leave that place, you want to go. I think you want to go out the same way because just up the road a ways is 466, which is just the other side up here.
Yeah.
You turn right on that and brings you right back over in this
makes
area
sense.
again. But yeah, they've got, as far as I'm concerned, they got some of the best. If you like barbecued ribs, they got
Yeah.
other stuff too. But I'm a barbecued rib kind of guy,
Yeah, you like
and
ribs.
I don't like barbecued ribs where it's just dripping in sauce. I don't like that. And what they do up there is they smoke their ribs in the sauce,
Right.
so the sauce is kind of like part of the rib,
Right.
and you just get the bone and you just pull it right out. Oh my God, it's so good.
And what's it called?
Oakwood Fire and Grill.
Good Fire and Grill.
Yeah, get a chance this time, next trip, whenever.
Yeah.
You know, check it out. I really like it really well. It's right next to I want to say called Micro Hotel. I think that's the name of it. It's a nationwide firm.
So is it along that road? Is that the one where Home Depot is? And
Yep.
and
Yep.
that's
That's it.
is that it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
because
it.
we went to the Longhorn along there. Didn't
Yeah,
we?
traffic's terrible up there.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's road works.
Go early. That way you miss the traffic. See, now you're getting into it.
I was watching an episode of Jerry Seinfeld a couple of days ago, and he'd gone down to visit his parents, and they were in Florida, and they were saying, "We're going out to dinner." And he's going, "It's 4:30." He says, "Well, you can't go out to dinner." And they said, "Well, it's cheaper. It's the happy hour." And it is like, "I'll pay the extra. I'm not eating."
We
at
actually,
4:30."
when we first come down here, probably I'll say 25 years ago, we were staying at Spanish Springs area up there, the hotel. It was the only square they had, and we went and ate someplace up Fruitland Park's the next town over, and we went over there and ate. And on the menu, believe us or not, it actually said what time the blue plate special started. And I remember that on Seinfeld, they wanted to go get the blue plate special, and it actually had it on that menu up there. And I thought, oh, look at this, look at that. I just thought that was so funny.
But yeah, we can't do that. We can't eat at 4:30, not unless we skip lunch.
Yeah.
But,
I don't like to eat at like 8 or 9, but
Well, I'm not a big breakfast guy, but I do like lunch and dinner. But we have people here, and Linda's one of them, that her and her husband, the best meal of the day for them is breakfast.
Yeah.
They love to go to all these different restaurants and try the breakfast.
Yeah.
And she can
Yeah.
find some of the weirdest places I ever heard around here. There's a Cuban restaurant down there somewhere,
Okay.
Coleman area maybe.
Right.
She went and had breakfast there. And there's a place up here somewhere. She told me the name of it. I got pictures of it, where they specialize in pancakes. And these pancakes are made differently than most pancakes. Pancakes she had, I swear to God, was that thick.
Yeah.
And it was fluffy. She said it was light and airy and fluffy. It wasn't really heavy at all. So she finds all these
It's
breakfast
one thing
places.
you'll never find on a menu in the UK is pancakes at breakfast.
Really?
No. They don't do sweet at breakfast.
They don't do what?
Anything sweet at breakfast.
Squeak.
Sweet
Sweet.
at breakfast.
You guys have weird breakfasts. I have seen them on a video of a friend of mine. She was getting on a plane, Virgin,
Yep.
Yep.
going to Orlando Disney World with a friend.
Yeah.
At the airport, she had breakfast, and I looked at it and I'm going, "Oh my gosh, you got baked beans on there
Yeah, baked
for
beans.
breakfast."
Yeah. Very popular.
Yeah.
She said that was normal.
Yeah.
It's called a full English. You'll get sausage, bacon, egg, black pudding, baked beans, mushroom, and tinned tomatoes.
The tomatoes is okay.
Is a full English.
Everything else sounds like picnic food.
Yeah. No, that's what they call a full English breakfast. A lot of people have it.
Well,
at the
baked
weekend.
beans here is what you're going to get with your ribs.
Yeah, your baked beans here are different to our baked
Yeah.
beans because for whatever reason we do something to our baked beans so they're actually orange, and your baked beans are like brown and
Yeah.
black, whereas ours are bright orange for some reason. I
It's
don't
just
know
the
why.
colour of the tomato sauce that they're in.
I don't know.
Well, it has to be
Weird like
the see, baked bean. The beans don't come with a sauce. That sauce is
Yeah.
man-made, right? So it's
Yeah.
got to have something to do with the sauce. I don't know what orange would be. Maybe they make your beans with
I don't know whether they boil them first or do something with
I don't
them
know.
first, but it's
Maybe it's a
strange.
different bean.
But there's things like it's like your eggs. You have to refrigerate your eggs because you bleach them. We don't touch
Our
our
eggs
eggs.
are brown.
Our eggs come out the chicken and they go to the
Well,
supermarket.
that's what we did on the farm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mom
So
cooked her the eggs.
we don't put our eggs in the fridge. We just
No,
leave
she
them on
didn't
the
either.
side, and they're good for 2 weeks or more.
Yeah, she didn't eat her. She used to keep them on the counter.
But because you clean them in some way, then it makes the shells more porous, so they have to go in the fridge.
Really?
That's really strange to us.
So I'm glad to know this, because in case something happens to Sue, then I'll know. Because if it was me, I come home from the store, I just leave the legs lay out on the counter. I
Yeah.
wouldn't put them up.
That's how we have them.
Because I've always said that when you get eggs in the refrigerator and you get them cold, and then if you want to whip them up for something like say French toast,
Takes long.
it doesn't come out right.
No.
You have to get them at room temperature before they actually will come out.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, but we never put eggs in the fridge.
French toast isn't a thing at home. It's what I like here, having French toast for breakfast.
I like French toast.
Yeah.
We
I
don't
can
do
make good French toast.
Yeah.
There's two things that I'm killer at. Killer at. Ask my granddaughter. French toast. I make the best French toast. And I don't think it's got anything to do with the bread either. That's just my personal opinion. And I also make the best grilled cheese sandwiches. I do.
We don't do that at home either.
You don't make grilled cheese?
No.
Oh, it's so simple, but they taste so
Well, no, we
good.
do. We call it cheese
Cheese
on
on
toast,
toast.
but we just have one slice of bread with the cheese on top, and it goes in a flat toaster.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just make two of them and then just squish them together, you know.
It's stuff like that we do.
Yeah.
But
And the other thing we don't drink at home, and I actually like it here, is iced tea.
Sweet tea or regular tea?
I'm trying to not drink sweet tea.
Okay.
I just have regular, but we don't have cold tea.
The sweet tea
at
that
home.
I drink is made with sugar cane syrup, so it's not no sugar in it,
Okay.
and it's so good. And I got some in it, and I'd be glad to get you some if you want to try it, because I think
I'll
it.
have a cup of sweet. If we're going to stay another 10 minutes, if you don't mind, I'd
Sure.
love
You want some tea? Forget
no,
it.
no, I don't like it.
You don't like it.
I don't
Have
like
a
You want a
beer.
spirit?
No, no. I'll have a beer. I'll have a beer.
Which one?
I'll have a Ying.
I got them all.
No, you
I
like
got a
Yingling,
brewery.
don't
I
you?
got a bar in there. No, I don't. I got
Whatever's
two beers.
cold.
I got Sam Adams, and then I got Yingling.
As long as we're not keeping you.
Don't
Skip.
mind. We
No,
don't.
this is my life right here. This is it.
Well,
Well, I'm gonna go.
Well,
I'll go
just
get you a beer, and I'm gonna get you a sweet tea.
thank you.
Talk to these people. Wait a minute. Let me get them on my phone so you can see what they're asking. You people can ask these people anything you want.
Skip is a great host.
Huh?
I said you're a great host.
Oh, host. Is that what I am? I've had so many people drive by when I was out here, and a lot of them they won't stop. They say they know what I'm doing, so they won't stop. They go by. But I've had so many people drive by and they'll holler out the window saying, "Hey, are you Porch Settin?" And I say, "Yeah, come on up." You know.
No, it's nice to actually be here and speak to somebody. I mean, but people will stand and say hello, and
Yeah.
because we're not from here, we don't know people to talk to.
That's
Well, one thing that I know about retirement places, not just this one, but any of them, anybody will talk to you. you got any problems
Yeah,
at
well,
all.
the thing is, everybody's from somewhere else.
They're always from somewhere else.
So they've all
You're
got a
just from
story to tell.
somewhere else.
Yeah.
They'll talk to us in the
Yeah.
pool, won't they?
Yeah, we're in the pool. We
Good,
like going to
yeah.
the pool.
Yeah, you're on the other side of the pond, as they
That's
say.
it, yeah, that's it.
I don't know who came up with that phrase either.
But we've had quite a few people ask us where we're from and then say, "Are you from New Zealand or Australia?"
Okay, there's a question right there. Mimi Alf says, "Where's everybody from?"
Oh, you'll have to read it. I got my glasses on.
Oh my God, he's
He
got it.
hasn't got his glasses on. Where's everyone from? We're from the UK, England, right in the middle.
Yeah.
We're about an hour or so north of London,
Yes.
right in the middle of the UK, and we're close to a town called Kettering. We live outside Kettering in a large village in the countryside, very quiet.
Yeah.
Which is
Kettering is actually twinned, as we call it, with Kettering in Ohio. If anybody's from that area, the two cities have a relationship. But yeah, that's we live in between two towns in the
between Kettering
countryside.
and Northampton.
Very quiet place. So much like
That's
like
why
the
we like the
villages.
villages, because we like the peace and quiet.
So, but we've been coming here now 6 years,
5 years,
6 years,
minus the
So-
pandemic,
minus the pandemic. So,
which was hard not coming, wasn't
which
it?
we found it by accident, which I think a lot of people do. But then trying to describe it to people at home is impossible.
So we don't.
So we don't anymore.
Because
We're
we
giving
don't
up
want,
doing that.
We don't want them coming. Thank you,
Here's your sweet
Skip.
tea.
We're just
Here's your
saying.
spirits.
Saying you.
We're just saying that we don't try and explain the villages to anybody at home because we just can't do it justice, and we'd
It's
rather
impossible.
Yeah, we had some friends ask us one time about the villages, explain what it was and so on and so forth.
We
I
said-
said, you know, I can only tell you some things, and I think anybody that's ever been here, I will tell you the same thing. I can tell you things,
Oh, that's nice.
but you really can't get it into your head to grasp what I'm talking about unless you've been here. It's just almost impossible to,
We're giving up.
yeah, it's just hard to explain the
And the
lifestyle.
thing is, we don't want to encourage other people to come either. So
Yeah, we got too many of them here now.
the prices are too high as it is. Without getting other people coming.
You know, that is, you mentioned that a while ago, and I don't think we ever got talking about it, but before we went up to California to stay at Linda's place out there, she's got this gorgeous mountain home at about the 6,500 foot level, and we had a chance to take our motorhome up there and boondock there we was there like 3 or 4 days, I think. Just gorgeous up there. Nothing like boondocking and getting up early in the morning, sitting outside in the chair having your coffee, and watching a couple of mountain lions walk by.
All right.
Yeah, it's kind of
yeah.
freaky,
Yeah,
you
that
know.
in the UK.
But we were looking at a house down here somewhere, I think around the Chitty Chatty area, a little bit bigger than this one. I don't want something big. I like something that's easy to maintain. But I think square footage wise is a little. This one here is like 1,650, and I think the one Sue looked at down was like 1,800. But it was still a 3-bedroom. The thing was, it had a golf cart garage. This one does not have that. And if you buy, and if you're going to be here, really a golf cart garage is really a nice thing to have.
Yeah, we realised that.
So that's what we was looking at. Well, when we looked at it at that time, like you were saying, it was about 300,000. At that time, this house is probably worth about 275-ish, somewhere in that area. And we'd gone out there. She said, "I seen this house. I'd really like to go down there and maybe see about maybe purchasing it." And I said, "Well, for 300, if you want to, sure. I don't care. You know, we'll sell ours and go down there and whatever." So what was we going to do? Well, COVID hit. Blah blah blah. We're going through everything out there. Face masks everywhere you go. California was nuts about it.
Yep.
They even had rules in certain areas that didn't want you touching anybody. It was just nuts. So we get back here, right? She looks on the thing and she tells me, she said, "You know the house I was looking at?" She said, "That same house is for sale down there, and now it was something like $490,000." I said, "Oh, you must have looked at the wrong house." Then we find this house for sale down there, no upgrades, 450. And I told Sue, I said, "You find some fool that'll write a check for 450,000 on this, I'm out of here."
Yeah.
But then I got to really checking into it and looking at it. That's what the
Crazy.
prices went to.
They just went, even like the cheaper house, like the Colony, which is the smaller two-bed house.
Too bad.
We thought about buying one of those just as an interim house until we found something.
What is that, a patio villa?
Yeah,
Yes.
little patio villa.
Yeah, those fine for part-time.
And they were going at 180 to 220,
Yeah.
depending on the location, the condition.
And the work. That
Now
they do.
they're 340.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
like,
It's almost
you know,
priceless
it's a
out.
shame. And they put a lot of people out of the market, actually. But
Yeah.
Now, I heard that the housing boom is just about over. That doesn't mean they're going to go down.
No.
Just means they're going to quit going higher for a while. But your investment's good here. That's, you know, that's the thing
Yeah.
that most people.
but are
Figure
you
so.
buying it as an investment? You're retiring.
Yeah.
You're never going to
Well,
catch it in, are you?
Our first house, actually, truthfully, it was an investment. When the stock market finally came back during the, what was it, the 80s or 90s, whenever it was, when the housing thing here,
Yeah.
do you remember that here?
Yeah.
Okay. We were at Starbucks one day. I'll keep the story short because I've told it 100 times. And I'm watching my 401k, which I had a pension with UPS, but the 401k money was kind of important to me also. I mean, we worked for 20 years trying to save a little bit. And in my mind, this was my buy a sailboat money.
Yes.
And that's what I intended to do. I didn't get to do that. So I'm looking at it, and I lost like 40% of this thing. And I just thought, oh my God, I'm going to be working. I'm 70 years old just to break even here. And then it came back
It always does.
quicker than I think anybody ever expected. And then one day we was at Starbucks again. I'm a Starbucks fan. And I'm looking at it. I told Sue, I said, we're 10% above of what it was before it went down. I said, I'm pulling my money out. I'm going to pay the taxes on it. I'm just going to pull my money. I was over the 68-year-old criteria. Was it 60 or 55? That you could pull your money
55.
out without penalty.
Oh.
Whatever it was, I pulled the money out.
Yeah.
I paid the tax, but,
Yeah.
but I didn't get no penalty. I was past that age. And I pulled it out. She said, where are you going to put your money in that you think that you're going to be safe? I said, I'm buying a house in the Villages. Because like you, I watched it. Every day I'd go in there and I'd look at these houses and I'd try to remember them. And then 2 or 3 days later, I'd check them again. They didn't really go up, but they just kind of deadlined right there.
Yeah.
I'd rather do that than take a 40% dive during the housing thing. So we did. That first one was an investment home. I said, we'll just rent it out in the winter. That's where the big bucks are at. We're not going to rent it out during the summer or anything else. That just wears out everything in there. And we'll use it ourselves as a vacation home or something.
Yeah.
And that's what we did.
Well, we looked at doing that.
Yeah.
Right from when we found the Villages, 5 years ago, and then just the year before the pandemic, we decided we'd downsize. Our kids are grown, they were going to move out, so we said, well, we'll sell the big house,
Yeah.
we'll buy somewhere smaller, no mortgage, and we'll look at buying somewhere for our retirement. Then the pandemic hit.
And the exchange rates have gone the other way as well.
Oh,
And
yeah.
So the exchange rates have
high,
never
so
been
at the
so
moment,
low.
it's not a good
So it's
proposition for us.
$1.20 at the moment, which is
So
really
our
poor.
dollar is worth $1.20 in your
Yeah.
country.
Yeah, a dollar.
So a pound
Yeah.
is worth $1.20.
So when you come here, buying products here is cheaper than it
No,
is
yes.
there.
Yes.
No, it's
yes.
more expensive at
No,
the moment.
no, it's
No, I'm talking about like
cheaper.
maybe
Yeah, it's 20%. cheaper.
shirts, pants,
Yes.
stuff like that.
Yeah, at the
Are we
moment,
cheaper here?
Yeah.
It's 20%. We're used to 50%.
Okay.
We
Because it's usually a
$1.50.
$1.50.
Well, when
been the
mine's
average
working
for
real
the last
quicker, thinking
7-8 years.
you, it'd be smart for you to take a shopping day before you go back. Maybe buy a bunch of crap,
Yeah.
put it in your suitcase, and take it home with you.
We've done
thing
that
is-
for 27 years.
the thing
it's
is-
always cheaper to shop
The
here.
exchange rates in the previous years has been quite good to do that. It's
Yeah.
quite important, man. What we don't have here is we don't get the tax back. If you come to the UK and you buy something, you can claim the tax back. So you can claim 20% tax back on the goods that you buy at the airport. You just take your receipts and they give you the money.
That's good to know. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but here
It's called
you
duty-free
it's
shopping.
not reciprocal here, so we don't.
But don't
get it
they
back.
have at
But in
airports
Europe-
where it's tax duty free?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's
Kinda.
not really.
No?
It's not that good. But now, because we're no longer in the European Union, because we had Brexit and we came out.
So do I have to be a union member to come there?
No.
Then what's a European Union?
European Union is 42 states, which is what they class it as, which are countries within Europe, which are part of this membership, which we were part of. We weren't part
Do
of.
you have to be approved to be a member?
Yes, by the other members.
Really?
Yeah.
So it discriminates.
Yes. But,
This is legal discrimination.
yeah. But we didn't like it because we were putting more money in than we were getting out of it by quite a large amount, and they were taking in countries that we wouldn't consider to be adding value to the party, if you like.
Right.
A lot of Eastern European countries that then had got the European Council had got to invest billions, literally billions, into fixing their roads, their infrastructures, and all those kind of things to bring them up to the standard as a European member. And we got fed up of doing that. And there was lots of subsidies for farmers in France and Germany and winemakers in places. And we were getting very little back in all of this. We were
When
just
still
putting
every
in.
other day in the paper they're arguing over.
Yeah, we still
That's
now
right.
over
John
where the
said
borders
it's
are.
59.5. That was the limit on the 401k.
59.5,
Yeah. And Cindy G wants to know, what's the average wage across the pond?
It's interesting. Depends on your skill level. If you say, what's the average wage? The average wage, I think at the moment, is £32,000.
I don't know what.
So that's about
Do you have a minimum
$40,000.
wage?
Yes, we do.
What's that?
The minimum wage at the moment
Is
is
it £10.20 an hour?
so that's
For,
about
for somebody over
about
21.
$13.
About $13 an
It's
hour.
10 pounds.
About $13 an hour for somebody
13
over
an hour.
21.
What is ours now?
I have no idea.
They're talking about going to 15, but I don't think
Yeah.
they went there yet.
No, they
Not
didn't.
yet. Well, some places have just out of the goodness of their heart, but
How about your
Yes.
servers? Are they under the minimum wage law, or do they get tips like they do here?
They
or-
do get tips, but we don't tip in the same way you do. It's not an expected thing. If you give a gratuity, as we call it,
Uh-huh.
to a server,
They get it.
they get it themselves. You give it them in cash usually, but it's not an expected thing
Because they
here. Here
get
you tip
minimum
everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Half the time, I
Yeah.
don't know who I'm supposed to tip and who I'm not supposed
Yeah.
to tip.
Trust me,
And
it's
there's
not
no
just
problem.
you.
And the problem is what they
We
do
tip
is
well.
we know they take advantage of tourists here, and then you get this suggested tip amount come on a receipt
I've seen
that
that.
starts at 17% and goes all the way up to 25%, and you're just like,
What?
what's that? Oh, well, we've never done that, and
Yeah.
we were always told double the tax. That's what we were always told.
Yeah, but now they include the tip suggestions, which include the tax.
Well, see, I've asked some people here. I said, if they do go to a new minimum wage of say $15 an hour, will you still feel the need to tip?
Well, that's the thing at home. We
will
look at it the
tip.
principle that the people that are serving should get a living wage.
yes.
So you don't have to tip them because they're getting a living wage. If you give them something extra, it's because they give you exceptional service, not because they simply were there. And
Or they
here
need
it's a
it.
case of it's because they're simply there
Yeah.
that you're expected to give
And then
them.
and here it's
a tip.
also they don't have to give you minimum wage if there's not so many employees.
Yes.
So some of these poor waitresses, if it's a place that only has 3 or 4 waitresses, they're making $2.50 an hour.
Oh yes.
That's insane.
Yes.
Nobody
I-
can work for that.
and so we don't really understand that. But I think when you go back to your minimum wage, the average wage, I think the technical average wage is about $40,000 a year. If you're a professional, say mechanic or electrician, something like that, you're probably going to earn somewhere in between 40 and 60 if you're very good.
Dollars or pounds?
Dollars.
Equivalent, yeah.
I think if you get into the professional things, whether you're an accountant or a lawyer, that type of stuff, then you're going to earn doctor. It's probably about $150,000 a year.
I got all kinds of questions on here for you guys. I just
That's
don't. Jerry Bell, you have to ignore Jerry. He's wanting to know if Bob and Fanny is my aunt and uncle. I guess you're Bob and Fanny.
Probably.
Susan Goodman said,
That's good.
Oh, okay.
said you have been coming to the villages for 6 years.
No, because I was saying that
Which village have you
don't-
liked the
I
best so
like
far?
West Tea, but we don't have it at home.
This one?
Oh, okay.
Hillsboro's pretty nice.
Yeah.
But it's not just, it's just area.
It's this area.
Yeah,
It's
across the
really
street.
good.
Dunedin,
He said this is really good.
even crosses
sugar?
Collier.
It
even.
is.
So it's-
It's
Collier's
yeah,
good.
Kind of
This
the worst
sort
kind
of
yeah.
for you, but
Especially if you're into golf.
It's
That's
good.
what I have
I
to.
do. It's
If you're not into
the-
golf, then this
Yeah.
ain't necessarily.
Well,
golf
no, he
adds
doesn't-
to
he
it, not
doesn't
from
do
the
ice
necessarily the point of view of playing it.
Right.
do,
But it's the
and I
views.
say it drives
We have a
me
lot
There's
of
a lot
views.
more
That's
nice
why I asked if he
preserved
didn't
type
give me any ice
views
cubes, but-
around here.
But he doesn't
Right.
even think about it.
But it's cold.
and
Yes.
Whereas
you know,
if we go out
probably
and
from
Chris
here
will have a
to
soda, he'll always
Belglade,
say,
if you
no
like,
ice, please.
around that
And he
area,
does too.
it's
They
very
look
nice.
what you've got,
But even
you know,
down
a
that
bit
way,
old,
Pine
and it's
Hills,
like,
there's
well,
some
the
very
drink's
nice
already
areas
cold.
around there
Yeah.
that
You
we
don't put
quite
ice in
like
it as well.
In fact, if
It's good.
It's
if
hot out here.
timing had been right, we'd actually
was
bought a
hot
house in
last
Pine
week.
Hills
Yes, yes.
that was up for
Yeah,
sale.
actually,
You know, we
today,
we
I
interviewed some people
think
over
it's
there
supposed to
that
be
rented a
raining
house
tomorrow,
off
so
of
it's supposed to
somebody
go off a little more.
that were in Pine
But
Ridge,
yeah,
I think, which
it's
is like next to
unusual
Pine
to have
Hills.
90s so quick.
Could have been Pine Hills. Were they in Pine Hills or Pine Ridge?
It's pretty much
The
the
people
same,
we
isn't it?
interviewed.
Pine Ridge.
Pine Ridge?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's Pine
Yeah,
Ridge.
down round the
Yeah.
preserve area. Round there is very nice.
Yeah, the preserve is where millionaires live.
Yeah, well, that's not must.
Yeah.
I show you.
Almost.
But this
he
house
does like to look at
looked.
houses.
This
No,
house,
there's a village there called the Preserve.
No,
Yeah,
there were-
conservation trail.
Yeah,
Yeah,
$1 million
yeah.
house.
But this house was right on that edge of that,
Yeah.
and it was an odd one. It was on a corner lot,
It was on the corner
and
of
it was an
Kowalska.
ease model. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an at ease.
And they'd had a pool put in, and it got a triple garage.
And he bumped it out and,
and,
put a
and
golf cart
he was
garage on
going
it.
into assisted
Assisted
living and needed to sell it quickly. And at the time, we were in hadn't
were
even put our
downs-
house
yeah,
up for sale
we were
yet.
considering downsizing.
So we were looking, if we timing had been right, we would have bought that, and we could have got that for 300,000 at the time.
Well, Tony Pabbin says, I appreciate your guests from England. They're really not my guests. They just wandered by. And it says,
we would call it in England gate crashing.
Gate crashing. Okay.
says, I was stationed in Germany during the early 80s and spent time at RAF Lakenheath.
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 Yeah.
Said, I enjoyed my time there. Says, welcome to the U.S.
Yeah. No, Lakenheath, I know well. When I was starting out in work, I was a salesperson, and I used to call on Lakenheath, and used to call. I had a colleague whose husband was in the U.S. Air Force, and she used to get me a pass to go there, to go to the American shop and buy things because it was so much cheaper there.
Yeah.
Actually, at Lakenheath.
Yeah, military discounts,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And
My
you gotta
cousin,
have,
it's in Rockport. He does it down there as a retired Air Force guy. It's somewhere down there. There's a base. And they'll go there. When they go there, he loads up on groceries
Yeah.
and stuff.
You see a lot of American cars around that area because some of the troops, they bring their cars over. They just put them on a carrier and they bring them over.
Mhm.
And then when they're about to go back, it costs too much money to take them back, so they just leave them there, sell them.
Yeah.
And so you see a lot of American cars around.
We
that
had
area.
somebody on there from Stuttgart a while ago.
Yeah,
Susan Goodman
That's
says,
nice.
which style house are you renting?
it's I think it's a gardenia.
A
Gardenia?
or a jasmine.
No, it's not jasmine.
It's
This is a
not.
jasmine,
Oh.
isn't it?
So,
This
no,
is
that's a
wisteria.
jasmine right there.
It's
No,
close.
it's
Yeah.
I think it's a gardenia. It's
It's the one that's got the bay
triple
front.
garage. It's got a bay front
Front.
on the kitchen. It's and then it's three bedroom,
bed.
2 bath.
Could be a gardenia. I don't know one from another, truthfully.
I think it's. I think it's.
So we got a wisteria. And that's the only difference between a jasmine and wisteria. Their floor plan, everything's exactly the same, except the jasmine is stucco. The wisteria is vinyl
stucco.
sided.
This is
Yeah.
stucco.
Yeah,
I mean, it could
like
be
the
a-
vinyl
Yeah.
sided.
But you prefer the vinyl side
Yeah, I
to
do.
the stucco, don't
Yeah,
you?
I do.
One thing I like about the vinyl, they all have their good points and bad points. The thing that's nice about a vinyl sided home is around here you have bugs, you got frogs at night that come up on your house. They leave all these little prints everywhere. And a certain time of year, it gets so hot here that when a bug lands on your house, it bakes it right there.
Right.
And it ain't going anywhere. Well, for $69, I call my no pressure wash guy. And they come out here and they spray a chemical around your house, and then they rinse it off literally with a garden hose, because that's what I like. And the house looks brand spanking new again, not a mark anywhere. Where on a stucco home, you can do that, but over time, it eats at the paint.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we our experience with stucco, even at home, it always cracks.
They do,
It always
And
cracks,
it
and once
needs
it cracks, even if you repair it, you can see it.
yeah.
It just never.
And
looks
I've
right.
seen that here, especially around the ground level.
Yeah.
You'll start seeing where the waters came off the roof if you don't have gutters, and it splashes the
And it
dirt up on
stains
the
it.
house, and then it stains it.
Yeah.
And so now you have to repaint the house. And
I just like the vinyl siding. To me, it's
yeah,
it's
I don't
an
have $1 million.
American-
Some of these people here retired very well just because of their geography, where they come from. People that lived 30 or 40 years, say, in Long Island, New York.
Yeah.
They had a good living there. And when they sold their 3-bedroom fixer-upper for $500,000,
Yeah.
they came down here back in the day when we first moved here, and they could buy a nice 3-bedroom stucco home for $300,000 and pay cash for it, and put $200,000 in the bank. That was not us.
No. Well, that's the problem we have, is that because we're only allowed here 6 months a year, we have to maintain 2 houses. So we
You
have
do.
to have a house at home. We
Right.
have to have a house here. So you got the running costs of both, and the running costs of homes here has gone
Yeah.
up dramatically as well with energy costs and.
What costs are up that you know about?
So the
Here.
even like the amenity fees have gone up.
Yes, they have.
The Although
Property
electricity's
taxes-
gone up, mass water's gone up.
Property
sewerage has
taxes
gone up,
jumped
property's
25%. You
gone
know
up a
about
lot,
that,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Trashes went up.
So when I've done the calculation, it's been about $9,000 a year just to maintain a house without.
That's why you rent it out in the
without
winter.
doing anything. Yeah, exactly. Without even being in it.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to cost you. And it's about,
Well, mom can get a
and it's
part-time job.
Yeah, and it's a similar. It's a similar thing.
I'm retired.
You can babysit.
Yeah, it's probably a similar cost at home.
There's no
So-
children here, but there's a lot of 80-year-olds that need babysitted.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, when did that become a good job?
Yeah.
Well, the one,
I
well,
and it's the
that
worst
at
paid
home.
job as well. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
And it's hard.
Yeah,
It's not an
you
easy
wouldn't want to
job.
do it, would you? No.
yeah. Well, are you guys going to buy here? You think, or
Oh,
are you going to
we-
wait it out and see what happens?
We're waiting out
Yeah.
for the moment. We want to see how the new park develops. There's some very nice parts of that. There's some bits we don't like.
Uh-huh.
The same with any park.
Yeah.
And so we'll see
We
what
need
happens
the
there.
exchange
We
rate
need the
too.
exchange rate to get much better.
Biggest thing you got to make a decision on: new or pre-owned. It may not make no difference to you, but that's the first decision you
Pre-owned.
really need to make.
It would be pre-owned.
Because
You're going to pay a higher price for pre-owned than a brand new. You know that.
Yep.
yeah,
That's
Okay.
fine. But I personally think you save money in the long run. One, the bond is less for starters.
That's true.
Then you've
A
got
lot of
all
the
the other
work's been
work's
done.
been done, whether it be paint dries, shutters.
But it's to their
Insulation.
taste. It may not be to her taste. Trust me on this. I got a wife. I'm telling you, they're going to come in, and no matter how good you think it looks, give it a year or two, and she's going to go. You know, the longer I look at that pink floor, I can't stand it anymore. It's got to come out.
Yeah. I don't mind that so much. I mean, we've just downsized, as we
No,
said,
it-
and we bought a much smaller house, about half the size of the house we had, and we've actually gutted it, absolutely start from scratch and redoing everything. We've just about done the downstairs. We're about to start the upstairs when we get home, and we kind of budgeted it into the equation, which is fine, and it would probably be the same here. We'd look at it, but there's certain things that I think which is good, and you learn about having that third garage is really important.
It really helps.
And makes life just easier.
Even if you don't have a golf cart,
Yeah,
just
no,
that
it's
extra
not like
space
this,
is
yeah.
great. You
we
know.
would want
Yeah.
two when we're
Yeah.
here.
See, my idea is having a 3 kitchen house, not a 3-car garage, a 3 kitchen house.
Well, on $1 million budget, that'd be great.
But we went.
Your
past
house
that-
don't have a pool, right? Over here.
No.
No.
And we don't mind using. We go to the pool most days when we're here, and we'll just go to the Hillsborough pool, and we like that.
Now, did you find this house on the Villages for Rent website, or
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Okay.
Originally. Yeah.
that's a good website to go to?
No, it's probably the best one actually.
Yeah.
So this is the second or third time,
Right
second
time
time,
we've done
we've
it.
stayed in this house. But
And they're
we've-
great, and you
And
know
I'm
you're
not sure which
dealing
one
with
you're in, but I
people-
think I know the people that own it.
Ed and
Ed
Donna.
and Donna Burhart.
Donna, yeah.
And
she
they've
had
been
probably
brilliant,
red hair
because
last
we
time I
had a
seen her.
booking
We've
which was
never met them,
pre-pandemic, and then we
just done
couldn't
it over
come.
the internet.
And we've
I-
moved it
I
several
remember they
times
had
and
one
had
on
to
TV.
cancel it because we couldn't
Yeah.
fly out.
And they've also got another
Hmm.
one.
And then
in
we were supposed
Well,
to be
I've seen
out
them a couple times,
September last year, and Biden didn't open the border up till like 2 days after our booking was.
Just
So
go
we
to
couldn't
Mexico.
fly.
Just go to Mexico.
Yeah.
You can just walk right in from over there.
So, but
So we came in December, didn't we?
yeah, so we
and
came in December
We were
instead,
stayed off
and it was
Cosmos.
great. And we start just off Cosmos as you come through the gate, the first right, Cosmos, and
We
it
were in
was
a
in those
courtyard
courtyard villas just on
Oh,
the
yeah.
right there,
Those are nice in
Ventura
there.
Villas,
and that was nice.
but I don't like a courtyard villa. I don't like the fence.
Yeah, we don't like that. We don't.
You don't like the courtyard.
No.
Most people that get those courtyards is for 2 reasons. One is they're I won't say introverted, but they like the privacy of the back.
Yeah.
Be able to sit back there and not have a neighbor see you and stuff. But most of them buy them because of dogs. They can turn a dog loose back there and they can't go anywhere.
Yeah, it's just too close,
The
and
garden's not big
even
enough.
when it's not close, it's just a blank wall that you're looking at.
Yeah.
that
The thing I
like
don't like about courtyards, it's just me. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them at all. Is the fact that I have to allow somebody I don't even know access to my backyard because he might be doing work to the neighbor's house right there.
that. Yeah,
And you have to, under your deeds, you have to keep your
Yeah.
gates open.
but that's
And-
that's the difference with the culture for in the UK. We live in much smaller houses. You know, we hear people come here and they're like, "Oh, we can't live in this house. It's only 2,000 square foot." That's a big house in the UK.
That's a huge house in the UK.
You know,
I know.
and and houses are much closer together, even closer than this. Even big houses are closer than this to each other in general cities. So we're used to that kind of scenario where people are you know.
I don't know half these
Be close
people anymore
proximity.
come around here. That's a problem. Living in a retirement community, you have to get your mind on this. Half your neighbors are going to die within 5 years.
Yeah.
And then you get all new neighbors.
Coming past to see if you're porch sitting.
Yeah.
Some of them do. Yeah.
You know, I'm like the neighborhood eagle eye right here. But when we first moved in, we had our first hurricane. Which Sue and I's been through a couple hurricanes here, even on vacation. The only ones I can remember really sticks to my craw was the one where we were running in the car, and I said, "Well, let's go to Nashville. There's always things in Nashville, Tennessee to
We've
do."
been to Disney, and
Yeah.
I said, and the storm come up, and I said, we run out of town to get away from the hurricane.
Remember, we
that's
stopped at
coming.
some store somewhere to get groceries or something like that, and a wave of water was coming across the
I
parking
think
lot.
that was
I
the
couldn't
hurricane
move.
Where my sister was here on
Yes.
International Drive in a hotel.
Yes, and the water was coming through the windows, the edge
Yeah,
of the
it
windows
was
in the
so-
hotel.
it was
Well,
an
that's why I
eye-opener for
stayed
us.
here when the hurricane was coming
Yeah,
in,
we watched you do
and
the
it was
preparation.
they changed it to a Category 4, and it was going to hit dead center. It said Tampa, but it was going to go north of us to like Ocala area. And I told, and our old neighbors are packing up. I swear to God, they're packing up. Some of them are putting boards on the windows. They're leaving. And they're calling us saying, "What hotel are you going to? Where are you going?" I said, "I ain't going anywhere. I'm staying right here because I want to see what it is. I want to see this is a planned neighborhood. I want to see how does the water drain? Do the streets floods? What kind of damage it's going to do? I want to see if my windows are waterproof. I don't know if they're waterproof. I want to see exactly what's happening here. Oh, will you keep an eye on my place then when you're there around here?"
Didn't you only lose a few shingles off the roof? and that
I
was
did. I
it?
lost a few shingles. I think like 20. And then I went up there to get them to match. This is another lesson I learned. You can't go to Home Depot and take a shingle with you and say, "I need this shingle." They'll find something close. The difference is the thickness. In order for them to sell shingles cheap, their shingles are half the thickness. And finally, a guy told me, he said, "Oh, the Villages doesn't buy their shingles up here. They get them at this place in Leesburg." I said, "Where's that at?" He said, "Go take this highway. You'll see a Publix grocery store on your right." He said, "Go behind the Publix, and there's a fenced-in area back there." He said, "It doesn't look like much." He said, "But that's where they get them. And you can't even see it from the road." So I go back there, and I take a shingle in with me, and the lady looks at me, and she said, "How many bundles do you need?" I said, "Well, I guess I only really need one, but I said, I want to take two just to have extra." And then she leaves and comes back, and then she types on this computer. She said, "What's your address?" I told her, and she types on this computer. She said, "Yep, that's the one you need right there." They had it all right there, and so I left. And then she says, "Tell anybody else down there that if they need any shingles, to come and get them now, because this next, whatever date it was, this next week, whatever," she said, "we're going to go back to supplying the Villages contractors only. We're not going to sell them to the public." So I just got lucky and got my stuff. But I drove around a neighborhood. I wanted to see what it did. It really wasn't a big deal. We never lost electricity here. The water never flooded anywhere here. The most damage that I really saw was on the golf courses. There was so much water that those big oak trees, the roots are on the surface, and they just kind of toppled over. Well, I think they set them back up.
In the historic section, they did have some water
Yeah.
there because it wasn't planned out like this was. So they,
Yeah,
but
it's
it
been
was
well
really-
planned. Having the utilities.
Yeah, it's planned pretty
underground.
well. I'll say south of
It makes
466.
it prettier as well.
Yeah, they've learned a lot. As they keep moving further and further south, they look at mistakes that they've made and they change things. Some to the good, some to the bad. One of it, which you've already noticed, I'm glad you noticed that, is also when they move south, they learn where they can cut costs to profit more money. And one of them down there that they've done is the golf cart pass. And I've mentioned that several times, but nobody listens to me.
Now there's a few things where you just, it all looks a bit closer together. The distance from house to house across the road are closer in parts.
I noticed in some areas the driveways seem to be shorter.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Right?
Yeah, the driveways are shorter, and so the houses from one side of the road to the other are closer together. And when you look down the road, it looks a bit claustrophobic for us.
I don't think it's that true in every neighborhood.
No,
down
no,
there.
no, no.
But in some of them, I have
Yes.
noticed that.
Yeah, they seem to they seem to be getting more houses into the acreage.
Shoot, yeah.
Than
Shoot, yeah. That's exactly what that's
But
about.
that's what we're used to at home. Houses very close together. You know,
Yep.
houses only have a 1 car length drive if the drive's on the front. But when we come over here, we're used to everything being bigger, further apart, more open. So
Let me ask you, you've been here before.
Yeah.
Been here in the summer before, like you are now?
yes, we've been.
Have you?
Most months of the year. We've been coming 27 years. We've been here August one year. That was hot.
So if you were living here full time, do you think you could live here full time in this kind of heat? Does it bother you at all?
I'd happily live here
Yeah.
all year round and
Sure.
put up with
Yeah.
July and August. Yes, I
So
would.
you got air conditioning.
Yeah.
You're good.
Well, that's it.
We
It's
don't
really
have air
hot at home
conditioning.
at the moment. So it's
How
about-
hot is hot?
It's 90 at home.
Is it?
That's a heat wave.
I didn't think it ever got that hot over
Yeah,
there.
no, it does,
And
for about a
last
week a
few-
year.
For the last few
Huh.
years, we've had some
Well,
heat waves.
but you have no air conditioning. So
Oh, that's right. You said that.
So in the houses, you have
We've got
fans.
air fans on.
Or we installed ceiling fans in our house, because we have a dog and we want to keep her cool. But it's otherwise people don't have it, and they just put up with it for that couple of weeks a year when it gets really hot, and the rest of the time they just get on with it. But at home you open the windows. You don't open your windows here because you have air conditioning.
That's what we did in Indiana. I can't. How many times did we open the window at night to go to bed and the breeze come through
Well, the
at
biggest
night?
problem we have, our house is open countryside to the back of our house. So then all you get is all the animal noises.
yeah.
So we get sort of
Bugs.
barking deer and
Foxes.
and foxes and that kind of stuff instead. So it's lesser of two evils, I suppose.
When I seen somebody complained about the mosquito truck that comes around the other day, and they said it was going so fast it really wasn't doing any good. But I can tell when they're getting bad. When the mosquitoes are getting bad. We're not on the water, but we're pretty close. And I said, so we get a lot of mosquitoes in the area. But they keep them down to a minimum with what they do.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
great. I've never been bitten here.
I
Grandpa
have
Eric
once or
wants to
twice.
know: do you tip a food truck guy when you walk up to get your order?
Food truck guy.
Yeah, when you
Well,
go
they
down,
normally have
Edna's
a
on the
pot.
Edna's on the green
They
down
normally
there.
have a pot there, don't
Yeah,
they?
I will.
And you
Oh,
know,
do
you
they?
gotta Put a couple of dollars in it.
Yeah.
Oh, they have a tip jar.
Yeah.
Yeah, the places like we were talking
Even
about.
even like places like McAllister's, where you go up and you order and they bring it to you, but there's a tip jar.
Yeah.
Still there.
I've often told Sue, being sarcastic that I am, we'll go anywhere and there's these tip jars everywhere, and I always look and I go, when I work for UPS, I work twice as hard as any of these people. Nobody ever give me a tip.
Nope.
We don't have no tip jar.
Yeah.
Yep. But what we won't do, we won't give tips if the service is bad. And we do get bad service occasionally, and we won't
No,
tip,
we will.
or we'll leave
we'll tip
$1.
$1.
Here's the thing here,
Yeah.
and I'm guilty of it too. You get great service, everything is good, the food is terrible. Do you still tip?
Yes.
I do too.
Yes.
Because I figured,
It's not their fault.
but in
Service
in a
fault.
way, my friend from years ago had a restaurant. He said it's always the server's fault. He said they're the last one to see the food, and when they go up there and pick up that food, and for something wrong with it, they should be giving it back to the chef, saying this is wrong, and give it back to him. And he would train his servers to do that.
Yeah,
I've
I'm not
noticed-
sure how many servers have that much authority in
Or
the
care.
kitchen.
I have noticed over the years that us English we've got a bad name for being poor tippers. Now we're not. We've been coming for 27
I
years.
over tip all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
we
do.
tip.
I'm the
well.
guy that'll leave
We
a $5
but-
tip for a cup of coffee.
But as a general, the British have got a bad reputation for not tipping, and occasionally we have had bad service because we're British. I think because they've automatically assumed that
They're not gonna
we
give
won't
us a good
we
tip.
won't tip. We went to Belglade a couple of nights ago, and we wanted to sit on the veranda overlooking the golf course like we always do, and they sat us at a table outside, but it was right in the sun. And as we sat down, you were in the sun, and we just said, "Oh, can we please move to that table there in the shade?" And I think it was going to be a different server, and they moved us, and then we waited 10 minutes for them to come and even ask drink order. And I said, "Is that either because we've asked to move, or because we're British?"
No, I think what it is here, we experience the same thing. We live here full time. I think it's just they're having health trouble still.
Yeah, I
They
think
can't get the old people that used to work here. None of them came back. They got jobs elsewhere. I don't know where they went. Evans Prairie back here behind us. That's probably my favorite go-to place here because it's just right back here.
Yeah.
And we go in there sometimes, and sometimes we have to wait too.
Yeah.
But once
Oh,
the server came, he was great.
But then, you know, most places we do get very good service. We the kids love to go to IHOP, so when they've been over, we've been to IHOP several times.
3 times in a week.
So
Yeah,
where does
and they
the
love it.
where does the one-legged server go to eat breakfast?
IHOP.
You're bad.
Because it's something we don't
Who's
get at
that?
home, the pancakes and the French toast.
Yeah.
So
Jerry Bell says, and they, I guess you're they have government health care. So, and you said that
Yes.
works out pretty well.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Can you pick your own doctor?
Yes, you can.
Really?
Yeah.
And
You
whenever
can change it as many times as you like.
and whenever you need something done, like here, I can tell you exactly what happens because I don't live in a doctor's office. I'm not going to. I'll follow the rules when I can, but it's nothing for me to call them up saying, hey, I can't make it, I got to go, and then I'll see you next year. But if I don't do the every 6 months thing with them like they like you to do,
No. You don't
then
have to
if
do
I get off schedule like I did this last time, we went to California and came back and I was totally off schedule. I called because I got a new doctor. I found out when I got back, my old doctor retired and I got this new doctor. So, but in here you have to have a consultation supposedly with your new doctor in order to be considered a patient.
that.
It's a Social Security money thing. I think.
No, the way it works, if you want to see your doctor for a 6 monthly checkup and they for whatever reason, then you just book it yourself. If you don't want to see your doctor for 20 years, you don't have to, but you're still registered with them, and you go and get whatever you need. So once you've been to see the doctor, maybe there's something wrong with you. Maybe they've discovered you've got cancer, then you get referred to a hospital, and that hospital has to see you within, for certain treatments it's less. So for cancer it would be 7 days. For less serious things, maybe it's say a knee
or a hip replacement.
or a hip replacement, which is obviously very popular
Yeah.
here.
See, I've heard a lot of rumors about that kind of thing, and so
Yeah.
But you
that's good
could
to know.
wait
So
6
for
months.
something like that, you could wait 6 months to be seen, depending on how busy they are. For less urgent stuff, that's usually what it is. But most things, you'll get in to see whether it be a physiotherapist or an eye doctor or whatever, within 4 to 6 weeks maximum, and they'll see you straight.
How about something like cataract surgery?
Cataract surgery? You can get that's day surgery in the UK, so you
But
can
you
get
might
that
wait
done.
a few months.
You might wait a couple of months
Okay.
maximum.
The reason why I asked that because she had to have cataract surgery and we had to wait. I don't even know how long. By the time I do the examination, you get got referrals.
Well, we've been to the doctors
we've
this
had
week. So Andrew was having some pains in her side, and we went to the urgent care. Well, first of all, we went to urgent care at Lake Sumter, and it was all closed.
It said it were open.
They said they were open, but they weren't.
What?
And it was just closed.
What was closed?
The urgent
Urgent care in Lake Sumter.
Oh,
In
they
Lake
got-
Sumter.
oh, you,
So we went there because that's where we knew where it was. So we went there,
Okay.
it was closed. It said it was open 8 till 8. So we said, okay, we'll come back the next morning. It was still closed. And then we went round, there's 2 there. So we went
Should
round
call
to the
me.
other one.
Call
and
me
it
next
said,
time like that
we're
happens.
not open this weekend, obviously doing something. So then we went up to Spanish Springs and we went to the urgent care there, saw a doctor, prescribed some antibiotics. We went back. It didn't get any better. We went back, saw another doctor, and he says, we think it might be appendicitis. So we need to give you a CT scan, and they can do it on site there. So $400 later, we're getting a CT scan, and they said, we'll call you this afternoon with the results. So fine. So we went off. No one calls. So okay. So we try and call them, can't get through to anybody. So we said, well, we'll go the next day. So we go the next day. But the moment you walk through the door, even though we're just getting the results from the CT scan that we paid for the day before, I have to pay another $112
to see a
different doctor to get the results.
See? I know. And that's what I hate. It's the same thing about why do I have to go talk to a doctor in order for this doctor to be my doctor?
Yeah.
And well, that's policy.
Yeah. So we were, which the doctor who gave us the results from the CT scan, he was very thorough. He was very good. He was very good. But you know, that's what we're not used to. We would still get the same level of service in the UK. It just wouldn't cost us anything.
No, we wouldn't.
Really.
We wouldn't.
I don't. It might have waited a couple of days for a CT scan, But if they thought you had appendicitis, they would have you in straight away.
But all in all, you like the idea of having public health care, I guess
Well,
you
we
call
have
it.
public health. Ironically,
I mean, compared to ours, is what I'm looking at.
yes, because we don't pay.
Yeah.
I mean, we pay.
Well, you are
in
paying.
our taxes.
I'm going to say this isn't for
Everything's
free.
paying for it.
Yeah.
But my company gives me private.
When you say
healthcare as
taxes,
well.
what taxes?
So we have
PAYE.
we have what we call PAYE, which is
Pay
a
as you
federal
earn.
tax that we pay.
Oh, we
the
pay that
government.
too.
But then
On
we
an
have something
average
called-
dollar, how many cents per dollar goes to your taxes, income
It
taxes?
goes up in depends on how much you earn.
Right.
So for the first $12,000, say $15,000 you earn,
Okay.
you pay no tax. Then from that up to
About
32,000, you pay 25%.
But the average income over there is probably 75 grand a year.
The average income is about 40,000 pounds.
Well, you guys got to catch up.
So, well, it depends on what you do, and then after that, you pay 40% up to 100,000.
40%?
Yeah.
40%.
Okay.
And then over 100,000.
Now, is that a flat tax?
Yes.
So you don't have like tax return where you can write stuff off to
Nope.
get? Okay.
Then anything you earn over £100,000, you pay 50%.
100,000 pounds.
You paying 50%.
How much
on.
dollars is?
That's about at the moment it's about $120,000. On ordinary, it's about $150,000.
So on 75,000, that would be like 80.
So if you were earning, say you were earning $75,000 a year, you're getting 12,000 of it tax free. Well, 15,000 of it tax free.
Right.
And then you're paying 25% on the up to
And that pays
between
for the
12 to 32, and then you're paying 40% on.
and that
32
pays the
tax.
medical.
No,
No.
that's your tax. Then you pay what they call national insurance. Your national insurance is your pension. So you get a state pension when you retire. It's not a lot of money, but you get it all the same. At the moment, it's about $13,000 a year.
Okay.
And it pays you.
So your national
And it
pension would be
pays
like
for
our
your
Social
health.
Security, kind of like?
Yes, and it also then pays for your healthcare. It pays for the National Health Service, which ironically, the largest employer in the world is the U.S. military. The second largest employer in the world is Walmart. The third is the National Health Service
Isn't that
in the
something?
UK.
Isn't that something?
Okay, so a lot of people work for the National Health Service. So, and we pay 11% of our salary is what that tax is. So if you earn over £100,000, one, you lose your tax-free allowance because they said you earn too much money to get that allowance, and then you're basically paying about 60% tax.
They doubled it. If you bring home, say you bring home
That's a lot.
$100,000.
Yeah. So
No,
you-
say you earn $100,000, you would probably bring home 55% of that. You'd probably bring home a year $55,000.
So no matter how you look at it,
taxes.
it's not free, no matter what.
nothing's free.
Nothing ever is free. They just,
taxes
everybody
are
keeps talking about that. So, well, they got free health care over there. No, they don't. It's
No, it's
Our taxes are
European taxes, and,
Right.
and they're higher in other European countries.
Yeah.
The UK is not.
Let me
high
ask you
by
this.
means.
Now, you guys got invaded here not too long ago by a bunch of refugees from some other country. I forget
Yeah, it
where it
happens all the
was.
time.
It was a few years ago. When they come in, like we're being invaded now,
Yeah.
like we're taking care of these people in every way that
Yeah.
you can imagine, medically, housing. Do
Yeah.
you do that too?
Yes,
Do you?
we do. What we find annoying, I suppose.
Annoyance tax? Is that what you call it?
Yeah, yeah. What we find annoying is that so we get a lot of refugees come from Afghanistan, Iraq, and they effectively walk to the UK, but they go through dozens of other European countries who can
Why don't
equally
they
take
stay,
care of
right?
them to get to the UK, and they've got to get across a piece of water
Now,
to
why,
get to
why,
us
why are they doing that?
because the benefits in the UK are.
Oh, it's
so
all
much
about the
better.
They'll
benefits.
get somewhere to live straight away. They'll get income straight away.
Healthcare
Whereas,
straight
say,
away.
if our,
Plus, they
kid,
probably know somebody.
if our kids needed some state housing, they wouldn't get it.
So
Hmm.
there's lots of
They'd
benefits
be
to
on the
that.
street.
But what they've
homeless before
started doing
anything.
now is that we actually pay France an awful lot of money to police their own border, to stop them getting in
Isn't that
boats
weird?
to try and come across. Yeah, because they're not very good at it. Because we
Okay,
still
so-
get about 300 a day cross that 22 miles of water which
Yeah.
there is between us and France.
You have a special TV show. I can't think of the name of it. I watch it on YouTube once in a while when I get it, where between the border between you and some other country. I forget what it is. It might have been Afghan. I don't know. Whatever it is. And it's trucks, and they have to go through this special area where they X-ray the trailer.
France.
Yes.
They got sensors they
Yeah.
stick
Yeah, they
inside
carbon
to pick up
dioxide
They
sensors.
CO2 sensors.
the
Yeah.
CO2s
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And I
That's
watch that
France.
all the time because, man, some of these people.
I go through there quite a lot. So I work in Belgium a lot when I'm not traveling. My office is in Flanders, in Belgium. So at the moment I get the train into London, and then I get the Eurostar, which goes through the tunnel, but it's a passenger train. If I drive to the office, I have to go through that port. So I have to get on the train still in my car with the lorries, and they have the CO2 detectors, they have the X-ray machines and everything when you're coming back into the country, to make sure that you're not bringing in any illegal.
William Rizzo, which is down at Key West, he says that he has a cousin that lives in, I want to say Chatham, UK.
Chatham. Yeah, that's in the south, sort of
London
London area.
Yeah, there's a lot of, we have cousins, nieces, whatever they
I
are,
have a niece.
that live in Manchester area.
We
Yeah.
flew out from Manchester.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
We've been invited to go over there a couple of times, but then all this trouble with the COVID. And,
Well, it's quite. What was frustrated us was we paid £250, so over $300, to get COVID tests
right.
before
get
we
on
come
an
out for the
I
aeroplane.
think it's
five of us,
required by a lot of airlines,
which we were.
right?
And then the Sunday after we arrived, he abolished it.
Yeah, it wasn't the airlines, it was the US government.
Yeah.
Oh,
For
okay.
anybody
Yeah.
coming in, you had
The-
to
the
have
CDC.
a negative COVID test within a day of travel of getting on an airplane. Yeah, and
And it
So
was
I got a
£50
card
each.
showing I had my shots
Yeah,
and
I
my
got
upgrades and
Yeah,
the
you still do
boosters. But beyond that, if I decide to fly to England,
No, not
Nothing.
now.
well, let's say you did, I still would have to get tested anyway to be allowed into your country. Now, when I get there and get off the plane, who asked me for this paperwork showing I've had it done?
Well, the border force may, but usually they don't.
Oh, okay.
And most countries don't anymore. I travel all over Europe and other countries outside of Europe, and I don't get asked at all anymore.
Or otherwise, I could probably fly into Afghanistan and then just walk across the border right there.
Yeah, get in a boat at Calais and come across, and we'll feed and house you.
Yeah, you
What
know,
is the, I don't know who this, DMA 55, somebody knew. So the retirement age for ladies is 66 at the moment, and as far as I know, 65 for men.
No.
However, the ages are going up on a sliding scale for both sexes. I assume we're talking about retirement in your area?
So in the UK at the moment, it's 66 for women, and it's actually 67 for men.
So that's how you legally discriminate.
Yes.
That's sexual discrimination,
It
right?
is, absolutely. But and it depends on, there's a sliding scale. So for me, I'm currently 51 or 52 in August. My official retirement age is 68. So that's when I would get my state pension. Now I'm not going to wait till then to retire, because I have a private pension, like your
Right.
additional 401k
Right.
or whatever that you pay into,
You
or
want-
your
you
company pays into. And then I'll retire earlier than that, but I'll still get the state pension when I retire at 68, because you have to work for 32 years to get a full credit, effectively.
Mm.
So, but yeah, it'll be 68 for me technically when I retire.
And so you're figured on possibly, if your plans go right, maybe 6 months here, 6 months there?
Yes.
Is that how you're
yeah,
working
yeah.
on it?
We were undecided exactly how we format that, whether we do 3 months, and then, because Andrea really wants to be in the UK for Christmas.
You have children?
So
3.
yeah, we have 3 grown
Any
children.
grandkids?
No
No,
grandkids
not yet.
yet.
See, that's going to be the hook
Yeah,
right there.
And that's where we're kind of going, well, we'll do the 3 months up to December, come home for December, and then come back out in January for 3 months.
Wait till
Do
they have the
s-
grandbabies.
we were here in December last year, and our children are 22, 25, and about to hit 27, and they did not like us being away for December.
Yeah, I can tell you when we had our grandkids, because I was working and we were just putting everything away. We weren't even thinking about retirement at that time. But I go back to when we had the girls, and they were all 2 to 5 years old. You probably couldn't drug us away from there for anything.
Yeah.
Because they grow up so fast. By the time they're 9, 8, 9, 10, they start getting. That's when you don't care no more. I've had enough of her lip. I'm ready to move on. You know.
exactly, yeah. Yeah, it's well, we'll see. There's no sign of it yet. So, But I
Are they
think
married? Any of
No,
them?
no. In fact, our
Well, I guess
middle
nowadays.
child is just moving in with his girlfriend,
Uh huh.
and that's about it. You know, there's no. other
How old are
son.
they? Can I ask?
22, 25, and nearly 27.
Oh, so they're ready.
Yeah.
Are they still in school? Any of them?
No. The youngest, he works for BMW Motorsport. He builds the custom bikes,
Uh huh.
and he does some other bikes for likes of Ducati and Triumph and such like.
He does a lot of the bikes you see that are built for films.
Yeah, so all the Tom Cruise bikes, they come in because Tom Cruise is such a small chap.
Mm-hmm.
They customize the bike so it still looks like a big bike, and he can still ride it. So he does all that work.
Have you been to the new bike store down there at Brownwood? I haven't been in there, but somebody was telling me they wanted to have a custom big bike rider.
Yeah.
And he wanted to have a custom bike